So, welcome to Willhelm Scream. I think episode 4 of The Witcher TRPG from Artelsorian Games. So, we are going to leap in because it's been a while. Oh, hello. With a what has gone before. And what has gone before is some stuff happened. Things happened, mistakes were made. So, after having arrived at the tossed coin in the company of Abelard, the regulars and Hamus and Dagrid received pieces of the recipe for the legendary Wilhelm's Cream ale. And then somebody threw a bomb through their window. So, after the division of the recipe pieces and the bomb being thrown into the inn, Loic, Chrono, and Juniper, no longer appearing in this game, departed. Hamus and Hadavir spotted a suspicious-looking character and pursued him through the marketplace, although Orban eventually slipped away, but not without losing the bag of bombs he'd had unexpectedly thrust at him by a mystery stranger. Recovering at the bar, he was threatened by a shadowy figure, into returning to the coin and stealing them back. Unfortunately for him, Hamus caught him with his inept sneaking and invited him in for dinner to hear his explanation. Clearing up and discussing matters, Nell and Dondrick realised that the bomb was primarily an incendiary device and would have taken out the papers the lawyer had left, which included the deeds to the inn. Reasoning that if they'd been targeted, the lawyer might be too, they headed off to Niklaus Beringer's offices, in time to save one of his clerks from being thrown to her death. I say they. Blake saved one of the clerks from being thrown to her death. Blake's a hero, yes, she was thrown, it was just the to her death part didn't stack up. He caught her. They went upstairs and tackled 2 ne'er-do-wells searching the place, killing the rat-faced one. Blake then took steps and threw the heavy weight out of the window in a case of poetic justice. But when last seen, he was crawling around and not yet dead. Loic, at his shop, heard noises in the cellar storeroom, and upon investigation realised his stairs had been sawn and a tripwire stretched across them, which, had he not noticed, would have left him sprawling and at the mercy of the dark-clad lurker hiding there. Instead, he was able to turn the tables, and when they fled, they fell foul of their own traps, and he was able to capture them. We rejoin later that evening, as everyone has returned to the tossed coin to share their deeds and doings. Is this a smash cut to get everybody in the same place? Hell yes it is. Deal with it. So, it's late evening. It's around the table. Oh, Joey, and you stayed with us. Thank you. So, what are you guys going to tell each other? The last anybody saw, little rat-faced man was dying on the floor of the lawyer's offices, and you largely decided to leave him to it. And the big guy was crawling around with many broken bones on the floor. And Blake was about to take steps. The clerk was badly injured. And Loic had his intruder tied up. So, that's where you were. You're now here, so... Yeah, so fill in the gaps, please. Yep, yep. Indeed. Yeah, I can let you say it. I'm not going to let you do it. Oh, yeah. Healing very slowly. Very, very slowly. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you may as well, because then everybody will be up to speed, and it saves me narrating everything. Yeah, yeah. That is correct. Yeah, you need, yeah. Hang on. Why is you? It's doing it again. Right, okay. That's twice in 2 streams. That's slightly worrying. I feel an OBS reinstall coming on. Could somebody say something, please?
Hello.
And you're back. Yeah, it was working until I hit the live button.
Right. It's one of those.
And then it stopped, and I don't know why. Okay, so in response to what Fish just mouthed at you lot, basically, natural healing is not a thing until your wounds have been basically treated. So you need at least a first aid. Right. Ideally, you want a healing hands, but that's a doctor-only skill, and you have no doctors.
Can I also ask what the wound threshold is?
The wound threshold is basically when you've taken over your wound threshold, you start taking penalties.
Alright.
So that begs the question if I could do a first aid on Nell, just kind of remove a piece of clothing, like tear a strip off or whatever.
Yep.
Just give her some first aid.
Yes. You can have a go at the first aid skill.
Fantastic. Right, Muff again. It's just a single D10, right?
It is a D10 plus stat plus skill.
Stat plus skill.
If you don't have the skill, you just don't add it.
Yeah, so it's just my craft in this.
Yeah.
Hey, but at least you're a craftsman.
Yes, and I don't roll like a turd either, so that's
Are they calling you out, Fish?
Plus 10 is 18.
Okay, 18 is pretty damn good, actually. Yeah, 18 is actually pretty damn good. So, sorry, Fish, what page did you say that the healing rules were on?
174.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Merci. Or mercy, I'm not sure which. Zoom to fit width. I've got 2 huge monitor, well, 1 huge monitor and 1 decent sized monitor. You would think I could fit more onto this page. Okay. So, yep, DC 14. So, yep, that's fine. That is fine. In order to regain hit points naturally, if someone has to make a DC 14 healing hands or first aid roll. You regain a number of hit points equal to your rec stat per day of rest. So you'll need to rest up.
Is this all happening sort of on the way back to and during the retrospective that we're going through?
Yeah, you can have the first aid check at the offices before you leave.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
To stop anything vital leaving the body.
Like blood.
Like blood, occasional
Stop my left arm
organs.
from falling off.
Yeah.
Because it's all on my left arm.
I think critical wounds were taken, weren't they? They require a specific.
I don't think
check.
on me. I think that was only on the.
Yeah, the villains.
I
The
remember
villains
there
do
were
them.
criticals. I just can't remember who. Because I have a suspicious feeling that I'm supposed to have taken damage, but I've got to find where I noted it down.
I know that I have a -3 penalty for anything with my left arm.
Yeah, I need to check that actually. I do need to check that. But at the moment, let's assume that's correct.
Yeah, so I'll just do a quick tie her arteries together before we leave. Do a nice knot.
You don't get to use a tailoring skill to sort out people's wounds.
I'm a armorer. Like I have quilted armor. I can quilt arteries together. That's how it works.
He's looking down, going, "You're supposed to use leather thongs to repair the arteries. What's going on?"
Yeah.
Going in with a tapestry needle and.
I mean, it's kind of the same.
Oh dear, leatherworking punch for the skin. The skin throws. Chunk, chunk.
Why would you do this?
I've got props down here if you want to see them.
I believe you. Actually, I know you're right.
I make things out of leather. I have leather punches.
Yes. Yep.
I used a fork when I was going to make whole converter. Anyway, fork and many needles.
But then, Dredd, you said my recovery stat each day of rest.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So
you have yet to have a day of rest.
Yeah, but my recovery is 7, so once after a day of rest, I will have recovered 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Then I understand. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Healing in The Witcher is slow, painful, and much, much faster if you have magic.
But it's fine because I didn't take more than 7 damage, so I'll be fine tomorrow, guys.
It's quicker than old school D&D.
True. If
I mean, 7 points a day out of sort of 20 to 30, maybe as high as 40 if you're really tough points, as opposed to 1 hit point per day for your 100 hit point fighter.
this is true. I mean, if Hadavir has healing spells, then you're well away. Oops. Sorry, my throat's on its way out.
Funnily enough, he does, but no one's actually asked.
Okay.
That's because nobody's hurt me yet. Believe you me, if I get hurt, I'm gonna ask.
Okay. As we speak, by the way, Dagwood is at a party. Well, the Dagwood isn't at a party. Tamray is at a party.
You like Dagwood.
Yes, is at a party. And at some point, I'm going to do a solo for those two with the Lords of Lands expansion.
I love the idea of a solo for those two.
Yep. I know exactly what I said. I stand by it. Right.
The things you can only say in an RPG context.
Exactly. Don't knock it. Okay, so... oh, dear. Ahem. Yeah, thought so.
That must be my damage record, because it's got the right numbers at the start.
Monty, do not panic about the penalty I said you've got, because it isn't. That's actually the penalty to hit that specific body part. Not the penalty imposed upon that body part, so you're fine. Well, you're not fine, you're just less buggered than you thought you were. That's me not doing much combat in this game.
No, you've avoided combat for the most part.
I have.
Mainly because, in character, we've avoided combat for the most part.
Well, you mean you never rushed up a couple of stairs?
Yeah.
I did stab that drowner in the back of the head, but...
That's not combat.
That wasn't really a fight.
No, that was you stabbing him in the back of the head and then running away.
If stabbing him had done more good, I might have stayed around.
No, by which you mean killed it. Right.
Yes, as a rule, when I stab something in the back of the head with a long, sharp, pointy knife, I want it to fall down dead at that point. If it doesn't, I have issues.
No.
Okay. That drowner survived, just saying. Okay, so...
Yep, the drowner was singing Gloria Gaynor.
Ouch. Yes, the drowner and your dog hanging out together now. So...
It is the maligned NPCs club.
It is, yeah.
Apparently.
It's the Survivors Club. It's Drowner
Survivors
with
Anonymous.
head injury and the dog with missing one canine, ironically.
And don't forget the party attendee as well, who's also missing something.
Well, yeah, okay. But he's got another one, it's fine. So, let's start with what Blake did to... What Blake
On
did
his holidays.
on his holidays.
We'll
Or
just
in-
see if we sell for 5 years.
Yes.
I think we pretty much know what Blake did. It involved a window.
Yeah, oh no, but the guy wasn't dead.
No, I know that. Yeah.
So did you do anything to, with, or for him afterwards?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay, so you just left him
What happened
crawling,
what happened to the other guy? The little rat
bled
guy?
out. His kidneys got punctured.
So he actually died.
He actually died. Yes, it was nasty. It was holes in his kidneys and toxins flooding his body. And I've read the write up
In
for
that
that
case,
crit.
Blake might have had just a brief word on his way out with the guy downstairs, but
Okay.
he wouldn't have actually done anything to it. He just-
Okay, so no walking over his prone body or anything like that. Right. Does Blake have streetwise?
I don't think Blake has anything involving the word wise. Let me
Good to
just
know.
check there. He actually does have 1 point. Yeah, 1 point in streetwise.
Right. In that case, I will take a streetwise check from Nell, Dondrick, and Blake.
Sweet.
Oh, bleeding heck. Apparently he's extremely streetwise today. That's 23 from my 1 rank of streetwise. Yay,
Right.
exploding dice.
Okay.
Math. Give me 2 seconds.
Kind of want to set up an explosion sound effect now because my dice exploded, but I don't know how loud they are.
You set it off and suddenly everybody just goes, no!
Yeah.
Right. Fish, you know that now that you can see his face on the way out, what's left of it, because he kind of led with his head. The man you were fighting upstairs who you threw out of the window goes by the name of Gerhardt.
Yeah.
He is one of the piglets.
Yeah,
You
the
know him.
piglet part we were kind of taking as read.
He
to be
is,
fair.
yes.
Oh,
But
nice to have it confirmed.
specifically with that role, he works for Piotr, Sebastian's nephew. He works specifically for Piotr.
Right.
And in fact, is rarely not seen with him.
Now, this is changing characters slightly. If I remember rightly, is Piotr not the guy that Hamus and Dagwood encountered in the first place? Because these are the 2 goons he had with
Yep.
him. And it was him.
It was
Right.
him who was arranging the beating up of Abelard in the alleyway.
Right. In that case, I will definitely have to have a word with him on the way out, isn't it?
Okay. So, upstairs, what did you 2 get?
13.
And 15.
13 doesn't necessarily get you anything, but 15, Nell recognises Edda, who is again known as one of Piotr's piglets. You recognise him because he has come round a couple of times insinuating that perhaps you ought to start paying some sort of ground rent to Piotr, otherwise he might have to send someone round for a word.
What did you say his name was again?
Edda, E-D-E-R.
Sweet.
That's the guy who's dead.
Yeah, the rat
Yes,
fight.
Edda's dead, yes. Ratty. Could one of the mods do the honours, please? Cheers. I don't do paid followers. I don't do paid primes.
And it's a bot anyway.
And it's a bot
You know what?
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, everybody watch their chat because these things are annoying. So, the person doesn't ring any bells, however, to Dondrick. It was Nell who dealt with him.
Yeah. That's fair.
And what would Nell's response have been, just out of curiosity?
To realizing that this is the guy, or to
To
what
actually,
he came to,
yeah, to attempting a shakedown.
I think she would have just kind of shut the door in his face, honestly.
Yep, that's fair. Again, you know that he works for Piotr, who is middle management and nephew to Sebastian Ball. Dondrick, however, can't recognise anything. And at the moment is more interested in tying things around.
You speak to the customers. I speak to
Yes. That's how you break up the customer service thing. You have the customers there, and you have the incredibly threatening gangsters there.
I deal with the complaints.
She's the complaint department. When Loic isn't there, of course, to actually be good at things.
Yep.
Yeah, to be fair, if Loic is around, Loic handles like all the face stuff.
Yeah.
Both the complaints and the praise.
I will say it was entirely deliberate that Edda waited until Nell was alone before approaching. Because Edda was a sexist idiot. So.
With making wrong calls.
Yeah. And yes, I completely forgot to upload that file.
And when she slammed the door in his face, it didn't necessarily mean that he had to be outside the door. She might have just pushed him out with it.
Is this what everybody else is wondering, why the brass plate on the front has a nose imprint now?
Oh, this is a dent. We haven't fixed it. It's never memories now.
It has character.
Yep. Yeah, it has his character. Okay. Loic.
Finding the wrong PCs.
Quickly though.
Nobody updated the PCs file. It's showing the Swords of Slaughter characters.
Would Nell have told us about this, about the shake-up, the attempted shake-up?
Yeah, probably.
Guess what happened today, guys?
Yeah.
Glad, let me tell you.
Yeah, you hadn't had the next stage of threat come round. Okay, someone's having the Indy 500 going on in their living room. So, someone lives on the main road then.
Not only has the current PCs file not been updated, but we don't have a current PCs file for The Witcher.
Should do. But I'm not going to argue because you're looking at the file list.
Yeah, I'm looking at them right now,
Yeah.
and it's not there. So
Okay. So, Loic.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm guessing everyone is back in the inn at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we are around the table. We've had the smash cut.
Yeah. So Loic is recounting the tale of the intruder he found in our basement.
Yep.
So
Right.
I decided to apply a little pressure and interrogate them. If I recall correctly, at the end of last session, Loic had his blade up against the back of said intruder's neck and was about to ask them some questions.
Yes, you did indeed.
So we flash back to that point, and let me just bring up the list of questions that I had. Okay. So who are you?
The... Oh, hello. What's going on there then? This is... What this is a very, very slight figure. In dark cloak, dark clothes. Are you removing the hood?
Not before I get the first answer.
Okay. A relatively youthful voice comes back. It's none of your business.
Consider your predicament. I think it very much is my business. This is my place of business, therefore, this is my business.
Right.
At which point, with the tip of the poniard still on the back, I reach forward with my other hand and pull the hood back.
Okay. You are faced with a short cropped blonde head, sort of number 2 level, and slightly pointed ears, only slightly. And piercing blue eyes that strain to turn to look at you, but are rather discouraged by the whole knife in the back of the neck idea. You don't need to make any kinds of checks. You are looking at a halfling.
Oh.
Which, no, were not character options when you created the characters. But are now.
So, how common are halflings in this city? Yeah.
They're not uncommon. They are the best integrated of the non-human races into human society. Humans largely give them a bile because they are ostensibly short, but they do also have a poor reputation for personal property acquisition.
So I'm not surprised. So it's basically the situation. I'm not necessarily surprised to see a halfling. It's just
No. You probably don't know any personally, but they're not in ghettos like a lot of the urban elves and that sort of thing. Although Beregost is a more wide open town. It's a more metropolitan town than some.
So I repeat my question. Who are you?
Promise you won't hurt me. The voice slightly whinges.
I'm not giving promises that I cannot, that I may not necessarily be able to keep. Tell me who you are.
Right. I'll tell you who they are. Okay.
They're randomly generated is what they are.
No, they haven't. They have a name and everything. The chat can even see. This is the problem. I really ought to do what Fish does, which is have a player's eye view up on Fantasy Grounds. But I don't, so I'm just trusting people.
In your defence, though, Drat, I watch a lot of actual plays, and I've never seen anyone else do it. The only times I've ever seen a player's eye view is when the streamer is not running the game.
Fair.
Apart from on stuff that I'm doing.
No, it is a good idea, though. It is a very good idea. Right.
As I said earlier, there is a reason why when you're doing big events, you have a video manager.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. They glance up at you and flush and cock up their deception check. Timothy, you have rarely seen such a poor lie. It's not even a roll for it, that's just a...
And the truth?
Tithris.
Thank you. Now, who sent you?
It's an assumption.
It is an assumption. Give me a reason to make it not an assumption.
I would like an intimidation check, please.
We've got a faint echo again, just so.
Yeah.
I think it's from Fish.
I'm pretty sure it's my fish too. I've been doing thoughts while this. I've been doing my deductions.
I can't make this a persuasion check, can I? Because I mean, Loic is not
okay.
necessarily setting out to be intimidating. Because Loic's a lot of Loic's personality is, while he is he has got a core of steel, but he is very friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
And although this is not necessarily the most friendly or overtly thing, he is not setting out to be deliberately intimidating. He wants to get the information more than he wants to hurt
Okay.
somebody.
Okay, I'll take it as a persuasion then.
Cool. Oh dear.
Or not.
That's a 10.
Okay. Fumble and still get double figures. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile,
And this is why the shell has a face.
resist coercion, which is done on that, which is... Oh. Well, it's not a fumble, but it's kind of pants. Right, that's actually a 9.
Ooh.
Tal's gone black and white. What?
Hello.
Right? He does that.
Yeah, his camera just
How's
keeps
done
showing
what?
black and white. You're
Yeah,
monochrome.
and super
Oh,
dark too.
yeah, no, I know what's happened. The lighting shifted. Don't mind me.
And now it's
It's
back.
back.
It's back
It's
now.
back. No, like literally, as soon as you got up.
I don't think it can hear
Oh,
us.
fair enough.
Okay.
Hear you.
Oh, yeah. When
Lighting
as soon as you
shifted.
got up, it got fixed again.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's something weird with the anyway. Nothing else. Focusing. Focus.
Only who sent you. Somebody who wants something you've got.
Can you tell me who that someone is? Or...
Only if it never leaves the cellar.
Sure.
Got your word.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I've got your word.
You have my word that I will not tell anyone that you told me this.
I was sort of sent because you might have some paperwork that rightly belongs to my employer. And he'd like it back, please.
That doesn't tell me who said employer is.
True.
Look, the quicker you give me answers, the more straightforward you are, the sooner you can potentially get out of here.
Piotr sent me, okay?
Shh. Thank you. Was that so difficult?
Bloody yes.
Loic actually chuckles at that.
The halfling is really not impressed. He really doesn't look happy with you.
Oh. Given that you sabotaged my stairs, have you done this before in this town?
Well, that's a leading question.
Yes, it is, and it is a question I am putting to you.
Not to you or anyone you know, probably.
Not to anyone I know or knew.
Oh, well, now if you're going to put words in my mouth. You may have known somebody. Maybe. Bit. I mean, it can happen to anyone.
Does Piotr get you to do this a lot, then?
It looks thoughtful. Sometimes things need to be doing. And sometimes things need to be doing properly. And if they need to be doing properly, then you need someone who knows how to do it properly. You see?
And you are a skilled person.
I've got 2 brain cells to rub together. He doesn't say because of the cell option. I've got a brain, which is more than some.
Well, we shall see. So, what is just stopping me from running this through your neck and saying you were never here? And this is said with a smile on his face, so...
Oh, in that case, definitely roll for intimidation.
Okay. Darn it. Didn't go so well.
Oh,
No.
4.
you wouldn't do that.
Not super bad, but yeah.
Yeah.
2 fumbles in a row. That's
He
still,
relaxes a little.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like, intimidation isn't his thing. So
Isn't his thing. Well, you wouldn't do that. You don't know what you're doing or where such things can be disposed of. Can you?
So, what is it? Well, I am not going to give you what I think it is that you want, or what Piotr wants.
Oh, so you've got it then?
Hmm?
You have got it then?
Let's just say I think I know what it is that he wants. Whether or not I have it is none of your business.
Wouldn't see your way clear to just, passing it on. Because it's not going to do you any good. Surely.
Why do you say that?
Well, because you need all the bits, don't you? And you haven't
Right.
got all the bits. And you never know who might have any of the missing bits.
Really? And I suppose Piotr is a humble collector of said bits.
He has an interest in rare items of edible and drinkable persuasion.
Really? Well now. Do you know of any other enterprising individuals such as yourself who might be in pursuit of said parts?
Enterprising individuals such as myself, I don't know of anybody else like me.
I push the poniard a little bit closer.
Yeah, all right. I don't know who else is going after the bits, but I do know that they're going after the manor letters.
Sorry, what was that? The manor letters?
Man of letters.
Oh, the man of letters, right.
I'm sorry, I'm going a bit hard on the S stream here. Apologies. For some reason, a lot of my criminals tend to talk like that. They're all allergic to hard consonants.
So what exactly is Piotr going to do if you return to him empty-handed?
Well, I doubt he'll do all that much, but he'll be unhappy about it, and he'll make sure that everybody else is unhappy.
How unhappy do you expect to be?
Well, he's probably going to shout. He might whine. Whining is quite a strong possibility, actually. He's taken on a slightly business-like tone. But worst case, he might send his pets.
Pets?
Yeah.
Do I know if this is anything other than the piglets? Like,
Make me a streetwise check.
Sure. Can I get a check that is not a fumble?
That would be nice.
Uh,
That would be amazing, in fact.
I believe in you.
Yay!
Wow!
Apparently not.
Wow!
Wow.
That's still a 5.
That's
It's
still a
all right, Get
5.
them out of your system. Get them out.
Good lord.
In a row.
Fish, what have you done to Chrono's dice? Did you give him your dice or something?
Jesus. Okay,
I
who's
think-
looked in?
Clearly, there's some sort of a networking error, and he's getting my dice. Yeah.
A not working error in this
Yes.
instance.
Yeah.
Do you have real dice nearby? that
Oh
you can
my
use?
god.
I do have real dice, but I believe in you, Fantasy Grounds. You can come through.
I mean, I'd say like give Fancy Grounds like one last attempt, and then it's real dice. Like,
Okay.
I mean, 3 is one thing. 4, that's a hard line.
Okay.
I
It
take
takes me
it
17 on the D10, so I'm fine with it.
I take it as a credit to my build that none of these have actually been negative numbers.
Well, yeah. Okay, what you realise is that although you've seen people around who you know to be of the piglets, and they are the primary organised crime in this area, you realise you can't identify Piotr for on site, which means that his pets could be anybody.
Okay, well, what I was mostly getting at is, do I know if his pets are humans or actual pets as in animals? But-
Probably people.
Yeah. Okay.
One of whom is probably dead, and the other one is feeling very unhappy at the moment.
I mean, we don't know how many piglets there are. It could be more than 3.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
Well,
lot.
the piglets are his uncles rather than
Yes.
his,
Ah.
but he has his own small subset thereof.
Yep. Yes, the
Um,
piglets actually hold fealty to Sebastian Bohr,
Oh yeah,
who
right.
is the gang boss who actually
Right,
runs
okay.
this area.
So
Piotr's getting crapper by the minute.
Would that mean that Peter is also technically a piglet?
Yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
if he's a piglet and he has his mini piglets.
Yep. Yep.
Excellent.
What's the rank of piglets?
He's the idiot who actually bought into the whole mini pig thing, being convinced that they really were going to stay that small.
And now they've grown
Yeah.
into full-size piglets
Yeah.
and he doesn't know how to control them anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, they've
Hey,
grown
what
into
happened?
those piglets, and I don't think he has.
okay, so
Yep.
I will then sigh and lift him up by the scruff of the cloak and collar.
Okay.
How heavy is he?
Heavier than, say, a kid of same build would
Right.
be. It's definitely got the musculature of an adult. So for all he's quite a slight figure, he's solid.
Right. Okay. But easy enough for me to
Oh,
to
yeah.
handle. Right.
Yeah. He's also
I mean,
little.
I have a body of 7 anyway. So
Yeah, that's not a problem. He's
Fairly
little.
beefy, yeah.
Halflings really are sort of tiddly.
Okay, then. So I pull him up from where he was basically prone on the steps, and so but keeping a firm grip on collar and cloak.
Okay.
So, while you were in wait for me, did you happen to help yourself to anything around here?
I had a drink. For which I kind of apologise actually, because you might want to put a better lock on your pantry. But that was it. That was all. You got some halfway reasonable stuff here, but where would I put it? I've got no space for it.
I am a procurer of adventuring equipment. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice
I
sharp
know.
saws you sell.
Yes, indeed. My companions do fine work.
Yeah, they do. You got a nice line in hacksaw.
Under better circumstances, we might be able to open a line of credit. But,
Oh, there's a thought.
however, you have not exactly enamored yourself. You have not exactly endeared yourself to such a transaction. So, assuming And actually, I scan him up and down. Does it look like he's got like bulging pockets or anything
No.
like that?
No. Underneath the cloak, he's wearing fairly close-fitting black clothes. And unless he's got some kind of strange dimensional holding capability in his pockets, he doesn't seem to have anything else on him. The pouch does not bulge, that sort of thing. Belt pouch!
No.
Before anyone starts...
I was thinking, the D&D method that is the messenger's pouch.
Yeah.
Yep. He's got like 10 pounds of goods
Yes!
into a flat.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah.
So, very well. I am inclined to take you at your word.
Oh, good. That's handy.
So, given that I am actually loath to run you through,
That's good, because I'm quite loath for you to try and run me through.
So, is there anything else important or relevant to this situation that you feel... well, obviously you feel I might not need to know it, but that you want to tell me, and again, push the...
Persuasion check, please.
Sure.
Please don't roll the fumble. Just this once.
I mean, it would be insane. Oh, there you go! There you go!
Sublime to the
That's the
ridiculous.
spirit.
31 on the persuasion check for those in chat.
I would officially like the piss back because you've taken it.
That's some pretty awesome persuasion.
Yeah. He sort of looks sideways at you. You're actually going to let me go. And you're not going to hurt me. Right.
I see little point in getting blood all over my floor for no reason.
But there are reasons you get. Never mind. Right. In which case, yeah, I might have something for you. But I'm not sure you're going to like it. It's not strictly pertaining to our business this evening. But you might want to keep an eye on Pepperdew.
Do I know who Pepperdew is?
I would like you to roll me an awareness check, please.
Sure. Right, this is one of my best skills.
Mm-hmm. Just as
17?
well. Oh, bloody hell. Right. Your brain initially goes down the track of, I don't know anybody called Pepperdew. Mm-hmm. And then into your head pops the image of Willhelm's prize fighting aardvark.
Oh.
I've forgotten the fighting aardvarks.
Everybody had forgotten the fighting aardvarks.
Oh no, it's in my notes.
Actually, I'll be honest, I had forgotten the fighting aardvarks, despite the fact that I drew the map featuring the aardvark.
Yeah.
It's called Pepperdew.
Yes.
It gets better. It gets better.
So,
My skin cleared.
and why exactly might we want to keep an eye on Pepperdew?
Well, you've assume you've still got the championships coming up, and what with I know it might be delayed with poor old Wilhelm's unfortunate lucky trip, but
Indeed.
you got the champions coming up, and there's a lot of money riding on that.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I'm just saying, whoever now owns Wilhelm's interests, young Abelards might want to just keep an eye on old Pepperdew there.
Yeah. Thank you for the tip.
I can go now, yeah.
I keep hold of him as making sure that he goes first up the stairs.
You're just not a trusting soul, are you?
You haven't exactly given me a reason to trust you.
I have done nothing but straight with you in my dealings.
You tried to kill me.
Apart from that.
I think that's
straight up tried to kill you.
I think that puts a little bit more of a black mark in your column than a white one.
Look, you're not going to be one of these people who holds a grudge, are you?
Depends on whether or not you give me reason to hold a grudge.
Fair point. So, should I make my way into your shop, I probably can't anticipate some kind of loyalty discount.
That is a conversation that I suspect will not happen.
Oh. Right. Okay. But, yeah, no hard feelings, yeah? I tried to kill you, you tried to stab me, and no hard feelings and no conversations out of school, yeah?
I take, as we're having this conversation, escorting him towards the door.
Okay.
Open
resisting.
the door and fling him out.
Okay.
We're getting him the nose imprint on there.
It's just loads of people from this gang getting kicked out of this shop. That's what happens. You come to the Adventurers Emporium and you get kicked out.
Just covers the name underneath as well.
Yeah. Okay, he actually stumbles forwards, appears to fall, and then does a Gene Wilder in Charlie and Chocolate Factory. He just tumbles forwards, pops up, and the next thing you see, he's walked next to a shadow and you can't see him anymore. The cloak go up. I like Tithris. Tithris is fun. Tithris may possibly have thrust a bag of bombs in your direction.
I got that feeling, yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So I recount. This is a tale that I recount to the others. So obviously they have their eyes on the prize aardvark, with a view to sabotaging the competition. And this is pointedly addressed to Abelard, because the aardvarks are still his, aren't they?
Yeah. Yep, the aardvarks actually do belong to the inn, so the aardvarks still do belong. Yeah, they do belong to now Hamus and Dagwood.
Quick question, Drat.
Yo.
When it comes to aardvark betting and the intricate system that is in place when it comes to these aardvark fighting for presumably death, money is obviously the most common bet, I guess, but are people betting other things as well?
People can bet whatever anyone will take their bet.
Yeah, alright.
I would just like to point out that what I'm working off here is called the Book of Scaly Tales, and was the April Fool for last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You have mentioned it before. But yeah.
Yes.
I mean, in that case, isn't there a possibility that they could try to win the deed? I mean, if they can't take it from us.
Well, that's a thought, isn't it?
Somehow I doubt that. Loic looks a little bit confused. Well, actually, no, not a little bit. No, actually, because we discussed this previously. Loic looks at Hamus and Dagwood. Is Dagwood there?
Dagwood is not present. Dagwood has not been seen since he went off to get some sleep.
Sure.
He has become a silent partner.
He has become a very silent partner.
So he looks at looks at Hamus, since I doubt such a thing is likely to be wagered on this.
Seems to me like they don't really have the right way of going about business, do they? Never occurred to them apparently to try and get the business without blowing anything up or throwing anybody out of a window or killing anybody. I mean, who knows? If they'd come and made us an offer, maybe we'd have let them have it. As it is, we're just going to have to let them have it.
Well, suffice to
I
say
like
that we
your
all need to
attitude.
be further on our guard.
I'm all for
Piotr-
letting them have it.
Piotr obviously isn't going to rest until he has his prize.
Oh, I think he'll rest a bit sooner than that.
So,
We'll
you
put him
people
to rest
know
if
the
we have to.
area more than I do because I've only just arrived, but is it worth my while even talking to Piotr? Or should I just go straight for Sebastian?
Could we do a streetwise on that one?
Anybody who's from this area or who's been here longer than a couple of weeks can make a streetwise check.
Ooh, not bad. Not bad at all. I should say so
Yeah.
myself.
I don't think somehow that
Doing math.
23.
Blake very much not as lucky this time.
15.
15 won't
Sorry.
cut
Look,
it.
I've had three fumbles
Yeah.
and 2 criticals.
Things have returned to normal now. You're getting the criticals and I'm getting the fumbles. Everything is back as it should be.
So, even if we don't have the streetwise skill, can we still roll?
Yes. Yep.
Kern, I think, is trying to balance out. And
Yeah.
eventually you get normal rolls.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You're looking at an 18 difficulty here.
Nope.
Okay.
Not for me.
So my 3 didn't make it.
Right. Though you don't know the individual players, Loic, by sight, you've heard enough chat and you've seen enough enforcers to know that, generally speaking, you don't get to talk to Sebastian without going through at least 1 or 2 level of flapper. You've never had dealings with them, but bigger shops than yours have,
Yeah.
and a couple of smaller ones have failed to, and at least one of them has burned down.
Yeah, like as a business owner, I will know what legitimate business looks like in this area.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
Piotr, Sebastian will not talk to you. There would have to be an extremely unusual set of circumstances for him to do so. Piotr might.
Let me give you an idea of what an unusual set of circumstances looks like. What an unusual set of circumstances looks like is I've killed his nephew because the daft bastard wouldn't talk to me.
I mean, there could also be a possibility that
That would
Because if Piotr keeps coming at me, I'm going to come back at him. And that's not going to make his uncle very happy now, is it?
well,
Is Sebastian the type to care, though?
it would get his attention. You are unlikely. The first line is unlikely to be him, though.
Can we fight?
maybe Sebastian isn't even behind it. Maybe it's just Peter doing his own thing.
Yeah, can we flash back at this point? Like,
You can flash back, yes.
Basically, what Blake wanted to talk about on his
Okay.
way out.
I will be back in a moment.
Okie doke. Yes.
So this would seem to be a good point to find out what he found out. if
Okay.
anything.
Right. What would Blake like to ask
Now,
specifically?
unfortunately, now I've got to try and get Blake's voice immediately after doing it. That's really difficult.
Boda, Yakida.
I just have to remember going to Conway. It's a lovely place, Conway. It's one of my
Yes.
favourite places, actually.
Absolutely.
Get in. Piglet.
Oink.
I got a piece of advice for you and a message that I'd like you to pass on. And he is watching him, by the way, because he wants to try and gauge a little bit. He's not going to actually ask him any questions, but he wants to try and gauge his reaction.
Right. Okay. Okay. Let's kick off with the human perception.
Which is going to be human perception, obviously, which I
Yeah.
have 0 in.
But you have the
So-
bonus because you are human, and so's he.
Yes, I do. What is the bonus?
I believe it's +3, but don't quote
One,
me.
isn't it?
I could be wrong. I probably am. This is the problem. I've been dealing with different chunks of the rule book for a while.
Hang on a moment.
And you get +1 to charisma, seduction, persuasion against other humans. +1 to detraction.
This is humans. Trustworthy +1 to charisma, seduction, and persuasion checks. So no, human perception isn't.
Oh, not
covered.
human perception. Okay.
Yeah.
No, so no bonus at all.
Okay.
So I am literally just rolling on straight empathy.
Okay.
Let's just go back down and find human perception because that will roll my straight empathy. Oh, for God's sake!
Ooh.
Right, that's -3. I perceive that he's not human.
Okay. His face is swelling quite badly, and that's kind of buggering up his expressions.
I'm basically going to get nothing out of this, but we'll still have the conversation.
We'll still have the
I'm not getting
conversation,
any-
yeah.
Blake obviously doesn't know he's not going to get anything. He's got to have the conversation, and they will just come out going, "Well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it?"
Okay.
So first off, I have a piece of advice for you. Thing is,
You
yeah,
gotta get me a doctor.
no, I'm not going to do that.
You bastard. You beat a man.
Now-
You don't get him a
Okay, I'm going to give you
doctor.
2 pieces of advice now, right? First piece of advice that I was going to give you anyway. Don't do stuff like this, because it's a very bad idea and it makes people annoyed.
It's our job.
Second piece of advice is, shut up now, or I'm going to finish the job. All right? Do we have the idea now? Have you got a better idea of where we're talking from? Because you're the one lying on the ground, right? And I'm the one who's put you there.
Kid Wenny wuss.
It's a good job for you that I have a sweet and kind disposition, because otherwise you might just be in a lot of pain right now. Oh wait, you already are, aren't you?
Can you find any sheep?
Ooh.
No, I couldn't. Which is a shame, really, because they'd have been more of a challenge than you.
I would just like to say that A, playing an awful person, B, my family are Welsh, so don't panic too much. I'm not coming down that hard on the Welsh.
Anyway, I wanted to give you a message as well. I don't know who's behind all of this, but I do know that obviously you wouldn't be here if Piotr hadn't sent you. So the message is for Piotr. And it's very simple. The message is, stop it. All right.
Stop
It.
it.
Always see if pigs fly.
Because that's twice today that somebody I reckon is probably working for Piotr has got in my way and annoyed me.
Twice.
And you've seen what happened on the second time, right?
What was
That
that?
was you.
Oh, it was me.
That was
me.
an escalation the first time they got away with it. The second time you went out of a window. Just have a little bit of a think, you and Piotr both, about what might happen the third time, all right?
Higher window?
I might not bother with the window. And you
You just
pulls the
put me
cloak
on.
aside to reveal the cord cutlass thing that he's carrying. I might just go straight for that.
Oh.
Or possibly the battle axe. I carry a battle axe as well, you know.
His
Although-
his forehead goes down on his hands and then he winces.
Although my
Point
favourite
taken.
weapon, which I didn't have with me because it's a bit messy for carrying through town. Have you ever heard of... now I can't remember what it's called. Sorry about this.
It's
Have you
Kid
ever
Winnie
heard of a
Moore.
thing called a Highland Mauler?
Oh, fuck.
You see, that's the thing I'm best with, but they're a bit big to carry around most of the time, so... Anytime you want to see it, you just come round with top coin, right? I'll have it there.
Oh. Doctor?
No, I told you I'm not going to do that. You can find your own doctor.
It's a long way.
Well, maybe you'll get some help. I mean, nice chap like you's bound to have a lot of friends.
Got a lot of friends. He reaches out with a half-hearted attempt to grab your ankle.
I wouldn't do that. You might want them fingers.
It's basically he's slightly south of Wet Kitten on the strength of the grip. Because I think his arms were broken as well. He basically broke a lot.
Out of a window.
He was not doing well before you threw him out of the window, Fish.
It's amazing you didn't kill him with the landing.
I know, I'm quite impressed. If he, it would have been a crit to kill, but he's basically, what are these earth things you call hit points? He's definitely at the bleeding and squealing chap level.
Just out of interest, I mean, I didn't get anything, but just out of interest, as in terms of other people may be interested to know, the information that I was looking for that I had no chance of getting was to try and gauge from his reaction whether this went further than Piotr. Because it's one thing threatening Piotr, who, is this guy's boss, but is still relatively low in the organization. But if this is actually a scheme from his uncle, then potentially, even in his current position, Gerhardt might feel a little bit more secure in his position if he knows that the whole of the organization is behind it. But I got nothing. I have no idea either way.
Okay.
So now we know that I didn't get anything, cannot insert it into the conversation going on in the tossed coin, and we can come back out of the flashback.
Yeah. You can indeed leave Gerhardt bleeding and crunching his way as he attempts to crawl across the road.
Are there any sign of other people in the street as we're leaving?
Amazingly, everybody in this street seems to have seen nothing.
It's super weird. All the shutters closed.
I'm just wondering if I can maybe see people approaching from a different direction who didn't see anything but are in the area.
Make me an awareness check.
Probably
I
hard to
can,
notice.
I can roll an awareness check. Whether I can make it.
Although if laughing has taught me anything, is that
I don't have points in that either. That's an 11 though.
Okay. There's nobody on this part of the street. However, you can hear footsteps clicking on cobbles just around the corner in this direction.
So, getting to an alley or other street or whatever that I will be going down to head back towards the tossed coin, and just before I step into it, calling out quite loudly, "Oh my God, that fella just fell out of a window! Somebody see if he's all right!" That's as good as he's going to get.
Okay. So you're sicking a bystander on Nell and Dondrick.
Well, that depends on whether they're leaving as well, or whether they are hanging around.
That's a point. Were
I
you
assume we were leaving at the same time.
Yeah, I assume
Okay.
we might have walked out during this conversation, just been standing
Yeah.
behind, waiting for him to be done with whatever he's pressing this poor man with.
Okay, poor man.
Well, you know.
The injured clerk, by the way, is lying on the floor
Yeah,
near
what
the
have
entrance.
Have we done anything?
Oh, sorry, do what?
Good point. Yeah, I completely forgot about her. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
If one of you wanted to do first aid
The
while
person.
Blake is having this conversation, that would be fine.
How is your first aid, Mel?
I have nothing in it, just my craft.
Oh yeah, me too. We're both.
And
Can we both try to patch her up at the same time?
You can go for an aid. You can try and help.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
So do we each just make one roll?
Both make a roll,
Go
decide
ahead.
which one of you is doing it. Which one of you is the primary person who is attempting to.
I think story-wise, we make more sense if I'm the one.
Yeah.
Because you're damaged.
I'm helping because I'm already injured, yeah.
Okay. Oh, she's got
Even
what
though
I
my
had.
guys-
Look. Clink, clink, clink.
I've been rolling very average. 15.
Okay. You are able essentially to tie a bandage across one of her worst wounds, which is actually a bleeding one in her stomach.
I quilt together her arteries again.
But you can't do anything for the bones at this point. But you can stop her getting any worse. And then Blake has his conversation and heads towards an alley.
Okay, Blake, if she is in that bad condition,
She's breathing.
yeah, I think we do need to get her to a doctor. If there is a plan afoot to get her to a doctor, Blake will still have the same conversation and will still make the same yell, but it will be when as he departs with her
Aha.
in the direction of a doctor.
Okay.
Either being guided by the other two if they are planning to take her to a doctor, he'll just do the carrying, or if not, if he knows where there was a doctor, he's not really a local. He's just been.
No, yeah, we should definitely. I've done the best I can, but we should get her some help. Can you carry her?
Okay.
He will indeed do that. He's reasonably good at carrying things. He's got a body of 8.
Pretty good.
Okay,
I
yeah,
don't-
you can carry her.
Mel also has a body of 8, like for aid.
But
Fair
your
enough.
arm is broken.
Yeah, my arm is broken, but I could like, lift.
'Tis but a flesh wound. Okay, 'tis but a bone wound. Okay.
Is my arm broken? Is it?
I think it's
It's
slashed.
bleeding. It's slashed.
No,
not
it's
broken.
bleeding. It's slashed.
Yeah, it's not broken.
He was
It's
stabbing.
fine.
He would have had to do
It's
something.
flesh wound.
He would have had to do
blood loss would have
something
killed anyone.
considerably more interesting in order to break your arm.
Yeah.
Okay, so although Blake doesn't know where a doctor is offhand because he tends to break people and then send them off, rather than getting broken and needing help himself.
The idea that there is a doctor handy when he breaks people because he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
This isn't really his scene. He's used to being on a battlefield. And the
But we
doctor's
probably
not
know
provided
where.
for you there. If you live long enough, one eventually comes to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we probably know where the local doctor.
Yes,
hangs out,
because
yeah.
you, if
West
nothing
of
else,
Italy.
you've dealt with being scorched, you've had cuts, you've had sprains. So, yeah, you know where there is a doctor. And it's a bit late in the evening, but as long as you're willing to pay.
Yeah. I can be willing to put some money into this.
Okie
I'm probably
dokie.
the one knocking on the door since the other ones are working on the carrying.
Okay. So. Sorry about this. Profession. There we go. Right. Yes,
I
you
have been
can
confused, by the
carry.
way.
What?
I've just checked, and I don't know whether the rule set has updated, or whether since we last played, or whether it's just being nice to me today. But today I can actually edit my hit points, so you're allowed to hurt me this time.
Works for me.
Also, Drut, the clerk was she human or?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. She is a blonde human. The blonde's kind of hidden by most of the blood in the hair, but she is quite a blonde human. Right. So.
So unnatural redhead.
Yes.
Well, blood is natural. I mean,
Yeah, it's just not generally used like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Someone has to be that trendsetter.
Indeed. So, let's do that.
Acute iron deficiency.
Ouch. Okay. Don't do that. Do I really want to know what that is? Okay, so. Okay, sorry, hang on. Do you ever realise you should have searched the other direction in a file? Yeah,
Consistent.
consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so. That's. Okay. Oh, that's actually healing criticals. There we go. That is literally only for healing criticals, however, you're still stuffed on natural healing otherwise. Okay, so, yes, you can take it to a doctor, and a certain amount of banging on the door by Blake will produce the man in his dressing gown stumbling down the stairs with a glass of brandy. What?
We need help, and I just gestured.
Ah, right. Okay.
Sorry to disturb you, but that's urgent.
Okay, yes, that does look urgent. Right. Yeah, okay, bring her inside. And you don't look terribly happy either, do you?
I'm fine. Oh, you weren't talking to me.
That's not very nice at all, is it? No, there's a halfway decent bandage. I think we can probably do better. About that. Yes.
Get her first. I mean, she's.
Okay, well, obviously her first. Yes, that's who's going to be paying her bill? Just out of curiosity.
I can do it. Fine.
You can do that. Excellent. Wouldn't want to be distracted about such things.
I was thinking we'll probably bill her boss, isn't it?
Yeah, we can handle that later.
Sort of his fault.
Oh dear, was there some kind of workplace dispute?
Well,
Have you been injured in an accident?
It wasn't your fault.
Unfortunately, I really can't say, let's just call it an industrial accident, because that would have no relevance in this setting.
I mean, on the other hand, I would suppose that armed thugs coming into your business is like something you would have an insurance against.
You could say there was a dispute over the workplace, yes.
Well, yeah, technically.
we're in the workplace.
Yes.
This is definitely an accident in the workplace.
Okay, general gear. Right,
How much
services.
does healing general cost?
Doctor, per patient, we are looking at 50 crowns.
Alright.
Oh,
That's all my money, but that's fine.
Yeah. Not going to be me paying, because I have got precisely 0 crowns.
Yeah, no, Godric will happily do it.
Okay,
Good person.
so
Really
yes.
should have looted that guy.
Yep.
You could have paid for that.
So yes. Do I take it? You'd quite like to leave her here? What is the young lady's name? I find they get better faster if I know their names.
Do I know her name? Do we know her name?
I would like all of you to make me an awareness check, please.
I mean, we have been to his office before. At least I have. Whew, I dropped my die.
You've been to the office, and she was there this afternoon.
Yeah.
So I don't think that
14.
a 9 is going to do it.
12. I mean 12.
Okay.
A 1 on my first die, and then a 9 on my second one. So let's see what my awareness is.
Someone did not
Oh dear. That's a -5. Nell has seen nothing and will see nothing ever again.
She
But
was
I got
staff.
12.
I don't look at staff. What are you talking about? What did you got? A 12.
Yeah.
What did Blake get?
Oh, I said I got a 9, which I didn't think was going to do any good at all.
No.
For anybody watching this and marvelling at the number of 1s and 10s that are coming up and exploding dice, bear in mind that a die will explode one way or another, statistically 1 in every 5 rolls. So while we are ahead of the odds,
Yeah.
you can still expect quite a few in a game like this.
You think her name is Stella, but you're not sure.
Yeah, I think it's Stella.
So. And where does the young lady work?
She works with Nicholas Berwin.
Oh, the Banger. Oh,
Yeah,
right. Okay. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I will bill him, and hopefully he will then return you your money. Yes.
Yeah.
And you
Sure.
are? Oh yes, I know who you are. Sorry. It's a terribly late night.
Yeah, we've had an evening as well.
Yes, it's not actually all that late, but you get the impression he's considerably further down the brandy than one glass indicates. Right. Oh, but you can leave her with me. It's absolutely fine, and I know where your shop is.
Yeah.
So I can. I will send you the bill.
Yeah, we'll take care of it in the morning.
Yes, that's
Thank you very
excellent. Right. And basically, you will be able to lay her out on his treatment table in the office downstairs. And he will start carefully removing her clothes as you leave. And when she's whimpering, because let's face it, the poor woman has had a time, he starts murmuring to her much the same way you would to a horse that you're trying to keep calm.
Oh, this guy's terrible.
He's very, very good at cuts, burns and scrapes. He hasn't had to do major injuries for a while.
Yeah.
Especially not under the influence.
Especially not under the influence. He is slightly half cut.
So, Dwarf, should I detract currency immediately, or...?
Yeah, if you want to keep it straight, then yes. He will indeed send a bill to the shop in the morning.
Yeah. And I'll pay it as the good... I was about to say Christian, but that's not really a thing in this setting, is it?
The good servant of Melitele.
Yeah, like the good member of society that I am.
Yep. Definitely Melitele was watching over this girl this evening. The goddess of healing.
I know gods.
Yep. In a setting where priests have magical powers, it's usually a good bet to just at least pay attention to the deities.
Yeah,
I always get confused by why people want to run atheists in games like D&D. Where do they think the clerics get their power?
Yep. Agnostics, I can see. But especially in the Forgotten Realms. Well, the gods were walking the earth.
There's a difference between not worshipping a god and
Yes.
not believing in the gods. But I've found plenty of people who actually play characters who don't believe the gods exist. And they're standing in front of them saying, look, I'm an avatar, okay, I can wipe you out like that. Why don't you believe in me?
Planescape had the Avatar. They just thought that they were powerful people, not gods.
It's like those famous last words, like, how do I know you're the real Angel of Death?
I have been in a Pathfinder game where the idea was there were no gods apart from one particular one that no one really worshipped because they were just kind of terrifying. But
Fair enough.
the idea being that the priests basically got their power from belief itself.
Yeah,
So
Eberron works on a similar basis. So.
Yeah.
Believing in yourself is what the truly magic was. The magic was inside us all along.
All along, yeah.
I think
The healing was the
Witcher
friend we made along the way.
technically have the gods as present as D&D does. It's more vague.
Okay.
If I remember.
So, yes, you guys can recount this around the table.
Yes, we add this to the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I apologise for doing it this way, but A, it's slightly theatrical, and B, it saves me having to explain it and recount it in third person again.
Yeah, so look, we're going to get a bill, but I'll just pay for it. It's fine.
Certainly, no worries. We can take it up with Nicholas when it comes through.
Okay. So, Auburn, who has not actually been introduced to Loic, Dondrick, or Nell.
Somewhere back at the beginning of this conversation, which we skipped ahead of,
Yeah.
without flashing back to within the same conversation.
Yes.
Somewhere back at the beginning of this conversation, there would have been, as everyone was sitting down to this discussion, something along the lines of, "Oh, we got a dwarf now."
What's a timeline?
Hey, I once started a scenario in the middle of a fight that didn't happen until the end of the first session.
Was it the end of the first session? I thought it was the second session.
Yeah, I think it was right at the end of the first
That's
session.
even worse.
Yep. And that's where I started in media res and then flashed back 2 days.
And
Don't do
afterwards,
that.
I
Don't
let
ever
you
do that.
again. Yeah.
No.
I like in media res starts, but usually carrying on from said start rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
The people in the fight didn't know each other at the start of the scenario.
no.
Yeah, they never do that again unless you're
That was
really
a
up for a
scenario where I
challenge.
was the only survivor.
I think the one time I've done a properly in media res start was a flying carpet chase.
Excellent.
That sounds great.
That's so much fun. Okay. Yes, I was a zombie fight in a nightclub, for reference, in 1948. So,
All Flesh Must Be Eaten is a very cool game.
I love All
and,
Flesh Must Be Eaten.
If anybody wants to see zombie stuff, then Badger got to run All Flesh Must Be Eaten for us.
I did that. I happy did that.
I
Okay.
actually kind of like that game. I've seen that game before. All Flesh Must Be Eaten. I am interested. Just let you know.
It's so much fun. And I've got the Army of Darkness edition as well. Okay, so, Auburn, do you have anything to tell the group?
I don't know if you could see my shifty eyes on that.
The body language kind of advertised it. So, I take it that's a no then.
Surely you would like. I think you. God, it's been so long. I actually forgot all the stuff that happened. Cats.
Yeah.
Sorry. Every single time, literally every single time I see Pippin.
He's
To make a
gorgeous.
change, I'm not wearing black, so you can actually see Pippin almost.
Yeah. Well, you can see the little hole in reality that he represents.
Yeah, say hello. Over there.
Rude.
My instincts are to go, pss, 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 but that's not going to work for the cat. Look at the camera.
Probably not going to happen, no.
Not over that kind of distance with
No.
headphones and not speakers.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah,
It's
good point.
It's going to make him look
Put the
at
headphones on the
beam.
cat. Right.
That would look cool.
Aw.
That's what we need a picture of fish with the headphones on the cat, not fish.
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I can see that, losing him headphones and skin. Excellent.
Yeah, probably.
Well, Pippin sits here looking.
Jeez.
Okay, so,
Sorry.
yes, Auburn, you came back into town, hopped off, looking for an inn, heading for an inn. You had a bag of bombs thrust at you by a short, slight person, all in black, with piercing
May
blue eyes and a
have been.
black hooded cloak.
A halfling.
You have no evidence that that was a halfling.
May have been.
It may have been. It was slightly shorter than
okay.
you.
Look, as Auburn tells it,
Yep.
look, I came into town, got off the cart, and I was minding my own business when someone shoved a bag of bombs at me. I had never seen this person before in my life, and so I saw you all had it clearly in hand, and I left. And then
Got
quite
chased.
rudely, at the tavern this evening, someone threatened me. I'm sorry, my voice is cracking. I'm really
That's all
sorry.
right. It's okay. You're absolutely fine.
Unacceptable. How dare your voice crack?
Yeah.
Probably so is Auburn.
Having a voice crack on stream? Pooh.
Yes, Felix. The Mr. Pot the kettle called.
They just handshake me and go.
Me and Tal, wait, is
Someone
Bill over?
threatened me to get it back, so I came back here and ran into your Mr.
Finish the
Hammett
job.
here. And now here we are. Also, I don't think I can go outside again. I'm pretty sure they will kill me.
Do you know who
Well, there's a
It
pity.
seems to me that Piotr's having a bad day. What he set out to do today largely appears to be to construct, if he can at all manage it, as good an opposition group as he can possibly find to his own plans. So he thought, here am I, here's the thing that I want, how best to go about getting it. I know, I'll piss off a lot of people and give them a reason to band together and come after me.
Subtle, understated.
Agreed. It does not seem
He's
to
a
be the
smart lad, that
wisest
one.
of plans.
Yeah.
Piotr is not the smartest tool. Piotr thinks he's smart,
Yeah.
but unfortunately Piotr really, really, really is not.
So the question is, what do we do now?
It seems to me that we've got two basic possibilities for where we go now. In a medium term, we can either deal with Piotr to get him off our backs, which in the process might annoy his uncle, but on the other hand, I don't know the man. He might just say, well, you got yourself into this trouble, you get yourself out of it, and leave us alone otherwise. Or we go a step further, and we reckon that the problem here is not just Piotr, but the piglets and the whole organization, in which case, in the long term, we need to take them down.
Or we leave town before they kill us in our sleep.
Drut.
But that's a fine plan, but there's one small flaw with it. I don't think I can carry this place.
Okay.
What? So, on the back of the streetwise check that I did earlier and did well on, with regards to like knowing the vague hierarchy, as in, you know, if you do this, this is what happens. This is who you get paid a visit.
Yeah.
Is there any talk of like how invested Sebastian is in his underlings? I.e., if one of them does make a mistake, is it that he just casts them aside, or is it that the organisation does support itself across the hierarchy?
They are led from the top, and it is very much structured and presented as a family.
Right.
It is, although as far as anybody knows, the only blood relative Sebastian has is Piotr.
Mm-hmm.
He regards the piglets as his children.
Right.
And although it's not actually everything is forgiven all the time. I mean, fair few have been thrown to the wolves. Once, literally, in the centre of town. But sure, they did something to deserve that.
But like the wolves.
He wouldn't necessarily. He is the kind of person, or at least as far as the stories go, that doesn't necessarily cut off his nose to spite his face. Sort of.
No. He's actually built up several legitimate businesses, as well as his protectionist activities to stop the spate of fires that periodically sweeps the neighbourhood.
Dreadful.
Out of character, this sounds to me like we're going to have to end up feeding Sebastian to an aardvark.
Sebastian or Piotr?
Sebastian.
That would take a while.
Google, do aardvarks eat meat?
They eat ants.
These are,
They don't have teeth.
these are combative killer aardvarks. I'm sure that they have more teeth.
That's like killing a dude through a straw.
Aardvark is known as an omnivore animal that eats both meat and plant. It is specialized for eating different types of termites and ants.
To be
I mean,
fair,
he's a termite.
Maybe we need to invent the smoothie machine. I don't.
oh,
So I'm doing this when I have an ice cream about.
Yeah, the two crossmakers get a bit like grind.
This
Criminal boss to an aardvark.
This is The Witcher. I'm sure there are spells from turning someone into
We find the
slurry. I mean-
secret ingredient for Willhelm's cream.
Oh no.
oh.
It's like Nezza's blood all over again.
Why did I come back to this game? Why did I just not shove it under the carpet?
This is
Because
fun.
you love us.
Wilhelm's cream is actually a blood sausage recipe here.
Ugh. I mean, meat grinders use automized swords. Yeah.
You're not wrong, but you're not wrong.
You're not wrong, but I hate it.
Wonderful.
This is a complete tonal shift from Eurovision, I must say.
I'm so
What?
sorry.
You don't talk about optimized swords when in your Eurovision parties. Bad, terrible.
Oh, I am so sorry. Everything was boppy and coloured and occasional flamethrower guitars. And
Box. Sorry.
But for reference, there is an instance of a character being turned into a puddle in The Witcher. So I mean,
yes. Transformational magic is a thing.
Oh, no, I
Making
mean,
a puddle and
turned
then
into a puddle as he died. You know.
have the aardvark slurp him up.
Anyway, side note, guys.
Aardvark
Let's
with
be
a
honest
straw.
here. Apart from, oh God, I've forgotten his name. Because the guy who should own the inn.
Abelard, who is sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
who's looking increasingly distressed at the idea of.
None of us really have any, we don't have any emotional attachment to the end, do we? It's just a business. It's just money. Now, Abelard here, that's another matter.
It's home.
So,
No, it is.
for the rest of us, Sebastian and Goethe might just have a good plan, make enough trouble that it's not worth enough, and then I'd be willing to sell it to them. Now, obviously, they don't expect to have to pay for it, but they've got to be reasonable somewhere down the line. But Abelard might just think differently. He might not like the idea of us selling the business to them.
I'd rather you not.
There you go, see.
On the whole.
I am loath also to see a thriving business also fall, another thriving business also.
So if we don't want to let them get the business, then it might just be possible, it might just be necessary for the big fellow over there to throw a few more people out of windows.
Does anyone think it might be the kid just looking to impress the parent?
Oh, it might well be, but
We don't know.
from what Loic's told us, I assume he's told us anyway.
Yeah.
It does seem that this is the kind of organisation where when somebody starts something, they get back up from the top.
I'm assuming all the flashbacks have been related, by the way. Have been related to the table.
I guess so at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not going for you're keeping secrets from each other because I will start smacking heads together.
So let's squash the kid and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm fine with that. But I think we need to be aware of the fact that we can't
These are the expressions Orban is made.
I think it's going to be done. We need to be ready for reprisals.
Yeah, this has been
And
Well, I've already.
great. And I wish you the best of luck, but
You're not going nowhere.
I mean, obviously I've got nothing against you, little
I
fella.
told you everything I know.
At the moment though, now you know more things because we foolishly had a conversation in front of you, which we really shouldn't have done. But hey, it's our mistake. I'm sorry. We'll just have to lock you in the cellar for now.
You got one option. Step outside front door and they kill you.
I mean,
I
you wanted to stay.
very sneaky
The front door
sometimes.
because you know stuff.
They know you've spoken to us. They'll find you.
Unless of course one of us is to escort you to a ship and see you on your way immediately. But the likelihood
You're
of us,
thinking we have time for that?
as I was about to say, the likelihood of us actually getting to the harbour unmolested at this point is probably
There-
low.
There is another
7, 10
angle that we
will
could
roll you out.
consider here, though.
Sorry, Monty, what was that?
No, and Nell said that things have a tendency to find you outside of town too.
How many kingdoms is it that Orban's been drummed out of?
Provinces. Let's not go all. I mean, they're kind of small. 5.
Like that kind of smart 5.
We do have a potential asset that we might be able to rely on here to do some good for us. But I'm almost certain it's going to cost us.
So what do you reckon? Should we fortify the inn and make it a stronghold against criminal bosses, or what's...
If we do that, it's not going to work very well as an inn. So at that point, we start losing money. And the moment we start losing money, then things go south, don't they?
And plus,
However,
we have our shop.
When was the last time any of you
Yeah.
heard about anybody who said, "Oh look, that's a member of the Brotherhood of Mages. Let's piss them off"?
Well,
I mean, everything I hear about them is basically, "Oh, for God's sake, let's be good now and not annoy them." So maybe we can use that.
Yes, Captain sitting there in the robe with the staff. On the how much does a room cost for someone who can level this place without blinking?
So we do have to consider, how much of an interest or a payment do we need to make you out of it for you to basically tell Sebastian and Piotr to back the fuck off?
I'm not a man of finances. Favours are fun. They're interesting. They can be useful. A
Well,
favour
that's
from
it.
each of you, and I'll go have a word.
So does anybody know whether our Sebastian has had dealings with members of the Order before?
I will take a streetwise check, but you're looking at a high difficulty.
Yes.
All of it.
Let's see whether or not things hold.
I hate doing math so much.
13 isn't going to cut it.
15.
Yeah, I needed the dice to explode to have a chance, and they didn't. So
Okay.
I think we probably all did.
Oh, yeah. Not even close.
Hang on, what did you say you needed?
I haven't given you a number, but
Oh, I
lots.
thought you did. Oh, I
Just
got
high.
17.
hi.
Yeah.
I thought you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're probably looking upwards of 18 or something silly.
Yeah, along those lines.
Streetwise. I will find
Even
it. Fun.
even if he was from the area, Hamish would have failed.
Yeah.
I was in wrong like that.
Nell gets closest.
Oh, Auburn!
Auburn's information would be current 10 years earlier.
To be fair, he has not been back to this country for
About 10 years.
about 40 years, actually.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I knew it was a long time on his timeline.
Look, he may be baby, but he is actually older than everyone else in this room.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's dwarf for you.
This is true. Okay. None of you can dredge up, and certainly Hadavir has no knowledge of any of the Order having any dealings with the piglets or Sebastian.
So we can probably assume that he hasn't.
That feels like a big assumption based on that no one else knows.
But I would have thought that's the kind of thing that would have attracted attention.
It
I mean,
almost,
you know, if people started spontaneously combusting around the town when they'd annoyed him, I think that somebody might notice. It's not a
certainly,
thing to talk about.
certainly not in the last couple of years. So.
Maybe
Okay.
not.
Right. I'm going to leave you guys mulling and take a brief bio break, because we've been going a little while, and I will let you decide what you are doing for the rest of the night, whether you're acting on anything this evening / tonight, or whether you're going to act on any plans in the morning.
I'm going to follow your lead, and I'm going to also take a bio break here and give everyone else an opportunity to mull over what they feel. Because Hamish is doing a lot of the talking at the
Yep.
moment, so people might want to talk past him while I'm not here.
Fair
I'm
enough.
going to step away and see if my dog needs to take a bio break. Last thing I need is a bio break inside the house.
Stand
I
up for a second.
take my
I'll be
own
back in a
bio
bit.
break. See you folks in a minute. Poor Monty.
Now I can take a break too.
Okay, with all the cameras vacated, I shall return. I shall take my break in a moment. She's currently asleep on the floor beside me, so I think I'm okay for a minute or two. I've got the stream to myself.
I mean, I am still here, but
Oh, dang it.
I fell off with just standing and talking to myself.
I suddenly had a thought of, I could plot some mischief for Drutton Fish.
I mean, we can.
But I'm not that evil, so what I shall do instead is
I'm
say,
not
does
gonna be a
anyone in the
snitch.
audience, or even you, have any questions for us about what the heck's going on? I may or may not be able to answer, but I'll try. And I shall wait until either Fish or Drut return before I head off and make sure my dog is let out.
Yeah. Also, I am not seeing the chat because my internet capacity is not good enough for me
Oh,
to
okay,
have the
fair
stream open. So if someone is saying something important, please let me know.
Molly is just applauding our secret plotting moment on the stream.
Well, I mean, the ever-present note will never leave my desk, and it is always crime time.
I was sorely tempted to see if the folks in chat would just be spamming numbers 1 or 2 as if they were voting on a poll that doesn't actually exist, see what sort of response we could get from Fish and Drut. But I thought,
We
no,
could do
that
that.
would be quite evil given the length of day that Drut's had, and I don't want to add to their frustrations anymore.
True.
On
True.
any other day, I would have been completely down for that, but today, no. She's had enough on her plate today, bless her.
We could do a compliment train for Drut. So everyone
Yes.
everyone say something nice about Drut in the
Yes.
chat.
You heard it, folks. Right, folks, can we have everyone saying nice things about Drut in chat? Fill the chat right up with nice things for Drut. No, we're not playing shotgun knife, okay? We're not playing shotgun knife.
I mean, I got a knife, but I don't have a shotgun, so.
Yeah, folks, seriously, please. Let's have some lovely comments in chat for Drut when she gets back. Because she's done awesome things of late. She's done a hell of a lot of work on the RQ stuff with Anil and Co. And she's got announced as a writer on a piece coming up with Artel Saurian Games, the guy that wrote this game. She's working on a supplement for it. So let's please, folks.
So
say
the
some
stream
nice
is
things.
official, guys.
Well, not quite, but
Yeah, but we can say it is. I mean, we
That's
can
it,
say it
Molly
is.
has done it.
Drud can't say it is, but we can.
thank you, Magpie. Oh god, the bot's going to be spamming that I need to turn that off very quickly if we can get people spamming stuff about Drut. Otherwise the bot's going to go mad.
Poor bot.
Hooah.
And
Welcome
we
back,
have
Felix.
one more.
Hello.
Two more.
Oh.
Come back at the same time.
Yeah, and
Right,
I've got
chat, go
cinnamon
on. I've
buns.
turned the command off. Chat, go.
What's
Not
going
a
to
word, official Drut.
What's chat up to? No.
No,
What are
no,
you doing?
no. Secret plottings. It's fine. Nothing to see here.
Why?
You don't know.
Oh, I see. I see what you're doing. Aw,
Aww. I'm gonna join
I
in.
should have done cinnamon buns. I have cinnamon buns.
These
But then I
aren't
have
that
to-
good. These are adequate.
I got homemade.
What?
Yeah, I don't. These are like frozen from Coop.
What? I'm sorry. I'm just reading. I'm just back reading chat, thinking, the hell? You're not getting out of having villains, accost you, just by being nice to me.
It's all chat. It's all chat.
Good God.
One of them's me.
Well, yeah,
That's
okay,
like
fair.
to yell my appreciation for my friends. A lot.
Right?
Right, you're really cool.
You,
Right, now
Right, you
Drut's back.
are. You're really cool.
Right, now Drut's back. I'm going to somewhat apprehensively take a quick bio break
Okay.
myself. I'll be right back.
Oh,
Drut, can I ask you a quick question?
you can ask, yes. What's up?
Saves me struggling through a character sheet trying to figure it out. Is reading and writing a specific skill in this, and can you remember whether Hamish can do it?
Hang on one sec. I have a character sheet open. Literacy is not a skill. Generally, if you can speak a language, you can read it and write it.
Okay, cool.
I guess it could go on the educational if you want to do it like a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know what level of education you've got.
Well, I mean, your standard of language determines how good you are linguistically. And if you really wanted to lean into the word linguistically, snark and sweariness, it's like Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, so education makes no mention of reading and writing.
No.
It is just purely under language skills, yeah. So yeah, it's a game that assumes that if you can speak, you can read. Right, fair enough. That's cool, because I can read. Thank you.
Also, Fish, your camera is still off for me.
Yeah, I know. I will be turning my camera back on in a moment.
I would
Wait,
like
wait,
to
wait.
apologise for any of you who can see my face going through some weird contortions that have nothing to do with what's happening. I've worked out that if I have something going on in the background that requires basically no concentration whatsoever, it stops me from just sitting there looking like I'm dead inside.
Dead inside. Yeah, and I still need to get that
I
t-shirt.
swear, I'm not. I do enjoy this game. I just sometimes my brain just goes from sitting in one place doing
I
one
feel
thing
that.
for a long time.
That's fair. That is
So
perfectly
what-
reasonable.
The thing that I decided requires absolutely no concentration whatsoever is apparently Skyrim.
Okay.
I've played it almost 1,500 hours. Nothing here, like, really requires focus.
Okay. That's a lot.
That is quite a few.
That's
That's only slightly more, I think, than Meki apparently has in Conan Exiles.
Jesus.
It's kind of scary.
Scary. But I thought I played games a lot. I suppose I play a lot
Being
of
a
games.
tattletale and likes to tell people these things.
Yeah.
I don't want to know how much I've actually spent in World of Warcraft.
I don't wanna play. I don't wanna play. I don't wanna
Yeah.
play World of Warcraft.
It's both terrible and great, Steam's feature with that you get to know how many hours there are. Because on the one hand, it's nice to know, this is how long it takes to complete a story. On the other hand, it's that's a lot of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
relieved that City of Heroes I used to do on a monthly subscription basis, so I would play it for a month solidly, and then I couldn't afford to renew it, so I would just wait another couple of months until I could get scrape enough together for another month's sub. Because God knows, if I was able to go into that on a regular basis, I would have racked up ridiculous amounts of hours. God,
No,
I
I'm
miss
saying,
City of
as a result,
Heroes.
I don't have to dedicate any attention, but you will sometimes see me reacting.
That's no
like-
problem. I mean, Alexia does art and I think
Yeah.
embroidery, possibly. So you know, it's fine. I know you're basically paying attention, and if your face and hands are doing other things, that's fine. It's not a big deal. It's
I've,
absolutely fine.
I've sewed many a piece of costume while D&D.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. So long as you're not doing all, say, telling me about your new BattleTech build.
Oh.
Writing a novel in the background, or
In fairness to Doug, it's not really his fault.
I know it's not his fault. And
But it is annoying when someone is not only reading BattleTech material, but also talking about BattleTech material to the Games Master during a scenario.
Yeah.
What was this?
you haven't met him because he was someone we used to play with back in the real times, back when we could play face to face.
He's a lovely guy, but he's
lovely
on the
bloke.
spectrum, and he's not the best at sticking with what we're supposed to be doing at the time.
Who's this we're discussing?
Doug.
I can't remember
Oh,
whether you
okay.
met Doug.
No, I never did. For a second, I thought you were talking about Oberon.
No.
Yeah. So we've got a fish back. Have we got everybody back? Are you simply decamered at the moment, Fish?
Yes, because I'm. I don't think anybody needs to eat yogurt.
No, that's fine, so
Okay.
long as you're back and it's all good. And I will just pour myself another drink because it's really hot in here.
It's so warm at the moment.
It is.
Yeah, my light, like with the key light having now been on for like well over
God. Yeah, that'll do it.
7 hours. Okay.
Wow.
Actually, to be fair, it is a key light, so it doesn't actually put out. It's an LED light, so it doesn't actually put out a lot of heat.
Yeah.
But it's that feeling you think that there should be a lot of heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I may have made a mistake in wearing a quite thick shirt.
I have to say though, nice shirt.
It is a first outing for the shirt. My sister.
Frodo, is it time to compare nails?
Hell yeah.
You see, I meant to paint my
got
nails
bored.
today. I'm annoyed because I pulled out that, which is this purple and silver sparkle, and I didn't get a chance to do it today because today just went.
Yeah. Yes,
I'm just
they
really disappointed
disappeared.
that I didn't know in advance that was going to happen, because if I had known, then obviously I would have had a 3-inch masonry nail handy.
Incredible. Would you have painted it though?
Maybe.
I think
Next
everybody
time.
needs to do nail varnish, and we can just
Do I
have a
have
nail
any?
varnish.
And likewise, and in keeping with that, I should have really had 9 Inch Nails CD handy.
That'll do it.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said there, Drum.
I think we should have a nail varnish off at some point.
There we go.
I was also very close to painting my nails before this, but I didn't.
I'm actually really pleased because this is layering 2 different polishes that I haven't actually put together before, and it's
cool.
worked out really well.
Nice.
Yeah, Anil actually knows how to do nail polish. Don't be mistaken by me showing you. Ooh, look, Tal has nails. Like, nah.
I'm using the same.
I had to take one of them
dug
off
out of my drawers
because I
bought
put it
10 years
on
ago.
so thick that it wasn't drying, and I kept bumping it against things, so it had a massive divot in the middle.
No,
Yeah.
you have
I
to
know
learn the
that
hand
feeling.
jive bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have, apart from one occasion, which we don't need to talk about, I have never worn nail polish, but I'm sure that if I wore any such thing, then I would make the assumption that it required a base coat, wash, and then dry brushing.
To be fair, you are not far wrong.
You're not a million miles. You're not a million miles off. Exactly, you're not a million miles off.
Yeah, no, I no.
Monnier,
Yeah,
yours are currently purple with hollow sparkles, but a bit battered. Oh, I'm going to have to do mine. I just on general principle.
So
Okay.
I've put his note for Dagwood, which he will be leaving when he gets an opportunity in Dagwood's room, into the Discord private chat for Night and Drut.
Okay.
So I thought it would be fair if the GM accessed it as well.
Picky. Sorry.
Never be sorry.
Yeah,
Your
no.
thought
When
cannot be as awful as mine.
you read something and you hear it in the character's voice.
Yeah.
What's that then, Ted? Right. Okay.
How long has nail polish been a
I
thing?
probably shouldn't have used the phrase "shit-hitting fan," should I? Really? Because that's inappropriate for the setting.
Yeah, we don't have fans.
Yeah.
Well,
We have
not-
fanatics.
Not rotary fans in any respect.
true.
I think I'll just edit that to just things going to shit.
Yes, that is very much a thing, and that explains why I've been getting alerts all the time. Right? Okay.
Oh, the shit's fallen off the night cart or something.
Yes.
Anil swore!
No, it's a perfectly valid term.
Yeah.
Shit is fine. Shit is okay. No way, shit isn't fine.
It was a
I
noun.
hear my parents swear. I mean, I hear my parents swear, but
to refer to the thing that it means. So that's perfectly reasonable.
Look at the nice map. Look at the calming map, everybody. Look at the lovely map that Fish drew.
What map?
yeah, I can't see it.
Oh, can't you?
Stream. Oh wait, we can't see that. No, yeah,
Stream
it's not
can
up
see
on our view.
I thought I'd shared it.
Which map are we supposed to be?
You're supposed to be seeing.
Oh, never mind. I have it. I see it.
Tell.
It's very calming.
Nail
Currently
polish
available
originated
game,
in
that's
China
the
and
one
dates
with
back
the-
to 3000 BC.
That is old.
Now I have a map.
Ah. Well,
Sorry.
a map
Okay,
has been
I am
forced
not
upon
going
us.
to say the potentially blasphemous thing that I almost said there.
Go for it.
Okay, I may have said, so theoretically speaking, Jesus could have been rocking nail polish.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I don't understand how it's blasphemous. I mean, obviously, you know,
I mean,
the carpenter, he's going to
I'm an
lose
atheist,
chips.
so I
But
don't get to decide what's blasphemous or not. I see the map now.
yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I apologise. I forgot I had to share it each time.
No, once it's been shared, we have access to it, but it doesn't appear automatically.
Yeah, we have to go in and press on
we have
it.
to go. Yeah, we have to go into images and maps and open it up.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
could have done that, but none of us had.
Sorry. My apologies. I am a
God,
bad
Yeah.
human.
If you want, you can, by using the share functions, you can hoist a map upon us. So even if it's a map we already have access to but we don't have open, you can make us look at it.
Yeah.
As was done just
You
now.
can,
Yes.
you can also, in fact, sync the map view, which means
Okay.
that you can, for example, zoom in and change the view to look at a particular place in the map that you want to highlight to us, and then use sync view, and everybody's view will move to that, to the same level of zoom etc.
I'll take your word for
That
it.
was neat.
So you can make people look at a particular part of the map if you want to highlight a thing.
Okay.
But I've never done it. I only know that is a
It's
feature
possible.
that exists.
Okay, now that's cool, but I do apologise because I'm still fiddling my way through learning about Fantasy Grounds.
None of
Fair,
us
fair.
really know how to use Fantasy Grounds yet. It does so much more than we use it for. But so long as we can play a game, that's good enough. We can gradually learn everything else as it goes. We don't need...
Indeedy poos. So, have you decided what you are doing for the rest of the evening? Or night, because it's night now.
No, but I'm gonna start off by turning to Loic and going, so what are we doing?
Well, I look at Nell. Does that arm need seeing to?
I think I just need to rest, really.
Yes, basically you won't be able to work with it until it's recovered, because that
Well,
will not count as rest.
given
Let me see that arm.
Yeah.
How
no,
bad
she,
does the damage look?
How many hit points did you lose?
I lost math. 6.
It's a nasty cut, and it'll take a day or so if left to its own devices, but only if she's given proper time to rest. But it's a nasty knife wound.
And as it is at the moment, it's clearly not fully usable.
Yeah.
And if I'm rightly, we do know you're a craftsman of some sort, yes? So you can't work, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
It'd be a struggle.
Stay sat for a minute. Mage is no more than battle.
Abelard, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was his... Do I know his surname?
You do know his surname. Hang on one sec.
Willhelm?
I mean, it would be on the deed for.
It is. Let me just move. Come here. Let me move you. Let me move the whole. No, fine. Okay, you know what? Screw you.
Once you've done that, right, can you remind me on how I cast spells?
You can. Skein was Wilhelm's surname.
How was
yeah.
that spelled?
Skein.
As in skein of wool.
Yeah.
Exactly how I would have spelled it. I didn't ask.
Yes.
Wait, Skane.
No, EIN.
EIN.
Yes.
Oh yeah, weird bits
How
of
do you know
weird
that
bits
I
of
am
English.
judging you?
Yeah. Yes, as in indeed. In fact, the winding of cord or wool or thread. Knight, basically, you need to roll a spellcasting check, I believe it is, or spellcraft, whichever, and not fumble.
And not fumble, okay.
Healing with magic.
Spellcasting is indeed a skill which comes off of will, by the look of it. So I am rolling, and it's skill plus stat plus d10, is it not?
Yes.
Remind me how fumbles work. If I roll a 1, I then roll again and subtract, don't I?
You do.
Does the 1 get added on first?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I have a total of 12.
Okay. Don't give me heart attacks like that.
A fumble is when it comes out negative, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have to do some serious exploding to get a fumble on a spellcasting roll.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And if
Like
you do, then
3
your
ones.
staff will explode.
Yes, and I really don't want that to happen.
Yeah, it'll explode
Not
twice
well.
because you've got two
Possibly, I didn't
foci in
count
there.
anything in for the staff.
Yeah, I was going to say, does the staff not give you a bonus?
The staff does indeed give me a bonus because it's quite a snacky staff. Try and what bonus it gives me now.
Magic. Mage spells. Which spell are you using?
Magical healing,
Okay. That was a
which lasts for
stupid question.
D10. Heals 5 points a turn.
Uh-huh.
Lasts for where it did say 1d10 rounds.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it'll sort her out, and just remember to take off the stamina, because although you're probably not going to be casting much in the way of more spells tonight.
Yes, stamina regenerates each day.
Yeah. Stamina regenerates actually really quickly. It regenerates as long as you can take a rest action.
Oh yeah, because you
because-
can do that short rest thing to get a
Yeah.
few points back, can't you?
Yeah, you can recover your stamina. You can recover your stamina in combat.
Out of combat, your stamina you get stamina back.
Yeah.
If you're not doing things that are going to prevent it.
Yeah, the reason that it drops at all is to stop mages just constantly sitting there going heal, 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 heal after a fight.
And the other thing with stamina, of course, is that you don't want fighters to be just, or anybody really, just to be going, right, yeah, I'll have another 2 actions this round.
Yeah.
So the stamina cost prevents that.
Yeah. Stamina cost, and of course the fact that you can only have 1 additional action. Right.
That should see you right, lass.
How long is a round? Just remind me, how long is a round in The Witcher again?
It's a bit of a movable feast, but it's about 5 seconds.
It's narratively long.
Yeah.
Nell looks like a little bit taken aback and like, hey, did this thing just happen? That's the kind of vibe she's going, but she just nods at you.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
This is the same guy that sort of exploded, for want of a better term, an incoming explosive back out of a window.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason Mage is quite
no, I
impressive.
Get you did that, but...
He blew us all away.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Swept us off us.
Literally.
But so I just put me back at full health.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Wahoo.
It burns temporarily and stings like an absolute bastard, like you've just dumped a bottle of TCP onto it. And then when it fades, it's fine, although you'll have a minor scar.
Forgot to say, might hurt a bit at first. I never was
that's
one with
fine.
the bedside manner thing.
Well, I suspect that we might as well head back to our homes.
Okay.
There is
another letter.
there is unlikely, although it is not outside of the realms of possibility, that Piotr will make another move tonight. But I dare say he will want to lick his wounds, regroup, and find out what has actually happened from his minions before assessing what to do next. So we probably have at least a day or so before we can expect any further interruptions to our dealings.
Okay.
I'm not so sure about that.
You think
Well,
he
yeah,
may-
Once he gets this, I will hand over the letter for people to read. I'm going to send that round to Mr. Sebastian Ball, and I have posted that in the chat in Fantasy Grounds for anybody who wishes to see it.
Okay. Oh, have you? Oh, there we go. Oh, blimey.
Which some reason I appear to have posted twice.
I was going to say, that's a long one. Would you like me to read it, or would you like to read it, Fish? How long
I
can you
can
keep that
read it.
accent? Sorry?
I can read it in Hamus's voice if you want, yeah.
Go for it.
Master Ball, as representative of the new owners of the Tossed Coin and of Master Abelard's skein, I'm writing to you with regards to your kind offer to take the recipe for Willhelm's cream off our hands. At the current time, there is no consensus in favour of such a sale, though we do find your nephew's arguments interesting, if not persuasive. We can, should he wish to, negotiate further with him or yourself on this matter, though I feel sure that any interactions with yourself would be of a very different manner. I trust that you are satisfied, as we are, with the outcome of the first round of negotiations, and hope that we can reach an amicable arrangement in the future. Yours faithfully, Hamus of Noble, proprietor of the Tossed Coin.
You certainly,
Beautiful.
you certainly know have a way with words, Master Hamer. That is almost certainly going to provoke something.
I didn't think it would be a good idea just to write him a letter saying, "Oi, you bastard! Stop trying to blow up my room."
And
Take
these
it,
words
you
are
don't
not
want
words to that
Not to
effect.
have a mage's word with them then.
And I thought it might be interesting to see where we stood. And I'm assured that I can't get to Master Sebastian Ball myself. But on the other hand, I thought a letter might reach him. And he may not have any idea that any of this is going on, and may have an opinion on it himself.
Whether or not the letter actually reaches him is another matter. He has lieutenants and such. They may wish to intercede on his behalf. However,
I wasn't
something.
planning on sending it to them.
Then how
I
are you
mean-
intending to take it? Does Sebastian Bohr actually pose as a legitimate businessman and hang out in, he has a place of business that he is
Yes.
available?
Sebastian Bohr owns several establishments. He owns at least 2 private entertainment parlours.
Of course he does.
Near the one near the docks, and the other to the north of the neighbourhood, more inland, that deals for the longer term clientele
Yeah.
instead of the half hour that you can rent services for the sailors. Sorry, I'm really denigrating sailors in this setting, aren't I? I'm just assuming that they've basically had they've had several months at sea.
Sailors tend to denigrate sailors in any fantasy setting.
Well, yeah, there was that. I'm just very conscious of the fact that we have sailor type people here. It's fine.
I mean,
Thank you.
I understand what you're trying to get at with this, but to give you another perspective, what if Sebastian doesn't know about this entire ordeal, and now that you're bringing it to his attention, if he's not already coming after us, he might be coming after us now.
He's going to find out about it anyway.
That's a good idea.
We killed one of his nephew's friends, one of his nephew's men, and from what I gather, made a significant dent in the functional operability of another one. So
I mean,
it's not
yeah.
going to go unnoticed.
No, of course, but maybe once again, I'm just trying to bring in another perspective here. Maybe the nephew has another reason for it. Maybe he doesn't know specifically about the recipe, or, I mean, of course he knows about the recipe, but
Piotr is looking for the recipe. He appears, from what that urchin told me, he does appear to be something of a gourmand. Or at least in search of things that he believes that to be of a delicacy.
yes, I mean, once again, Peter is after us, but I'm just saying, what if Sebastian isn't, and this will bring us to his attention? Oh, well, you in this case, and I point, I gesture towards Hamus.
I'm inclined to say that if we have to kill his nephew, that's going to bring us to his attention anyway.
Yes, but my mind usually doesn't go straight to murder.
You've not met Hamus then.
Well, I'll be honest, my mind doesn't go to murder either. I'm not the type of fella who goes around picking fights. I don't like fights. I avoid fights when I can possibly help it. But that's one of the reasons why murder is so useful. Because a person who's already been murdered never has a fight with you. I don't want to fight Sebastian Bohr. I don't want to fight Piotr Bohr. I don't want to fight any of the piglets. But there's this thing, you see, if you've got a tiny little snake causing trouble, and you chop its head off, it doesn't cause any more trouble, so that would be Piotr. If you've got a great big snake causing trouble, and you chop its head off, guess what? It doesn't cause any more trouble either. And that would be Sebastian.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get
It is
it.
surprisingly
I'm just
direct
saying.
philosophy, Mr. Hamus.
Yeah, right. So I've said what I wanted to. I just want to make sure that you know what you're doing. But if you know what you're doing,
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making this up as I go along.
Cool. And in doing so, you are looping us all in as well. However,
Well, now, there is another track I could take that would not get any of us in trouble, apart from one. And that would be to write a different letter which said, "Dear Mr. Bohr, no, Master Bohr, I gather that you and your nephew are interested in the recipe for Willhelm's cream. Well, I own the tossed coin, but I don't own anything to do with the recipe, so please leave me alone. Here is the list of people who do own the recipe, who are already involved with this, where I bloody shouldn't be. So how about that?
Master Hamus, that...
It's not my inn he's after.
He is after your inn too. They were
Not
trying
really
to burn
good,
down the deeds so that they could take the inn for themselves.
But they're specifically looking for the recipe.
Or as well, I mean, what we didn't see anything about what the people we found were in Nicolaus' office. There is no recipe there. They just offered the deed.
Bound would also involve not, divulging details that he did not necessarily need to know, or admittedly he could probably find out very easily. However,
I mean, I don't want to tell him these details, but I particularly don't want to tell him these details after his friends have pulled a few of my fingernails out. If I'm going to tell him anyway, I'd like to skip the torch a bit.
If you really want to send a letter, why don't you just send it directly to Peter?
Because Peter's an idiot.
I guess the Sebastian is figurehead, but he has nothing to do with this.
Piotr may
I've
be an
met
idiot.
Peter. Peter doesn't like me, and Peter is an asshole.
He is also he may be all of those things, but he is all of those things who is the one who actually has the beef with
Yeah, precisely.
us.
He's got a beef. There's no point in me sending a letter to a man who's got a beef with me. If I'm going to send a letter to somebody, it's going to be the fella who, as far as I know, doesn't have a beef with me at the moment.
You might very well do the day after this letter, or at the point that this letter arrives. However, I suspect it might be better should we sleep on it and reconvene in the morning and see what has or reconvene tomorrow and see if anything has happened. Should you wish to send the letter, of course we cannot stop you.
Well, I can't send a letter now.
No.
So, one way or another.
You're back.
Hello.
Sorry,
Wait, we moved.
Oh yes, suddenly Tal has turned into fish. Hang on
Yeah.
a minute. There's
Bring a
a...
new person into the call and the windows all rearranged.
Yeah, it hasn't done that for a while.
I can't see him.
Sorry.
No, it's alright. It's
There
okay.
you are. I can see you now, Tal.
The second anyone can see me, I immediately start pulling faces and waving.
Yep,
I noticed.
that's very on brand, dear. Right. So, you've had requests to sleep on it. A suggestion to send the letter to Piotr instead of Sebastian. A suggestion to send it to Sebastian and offer him a fight. What you were asking, Chrono, the legitimate businesses, as opposed to any other illegal operations that may or may not be happening,
Yeah,
Sebastian is known for. He is known for Stroke the Snout, which is the cheap dockside brothel. Look, it's very on the
I'm
nose.
sorry, could you please repeat that?
Stroke the
I'd really rather
Snout.
you
I think it was what you heard it as.
I'm just thinking about Aardvarks again.
Yeah. It's Stroke the Snout,
Oh boy.
which is a cheap dockside brothel where
What kind of snout do they have on their sign? I need to know.
it has a grinning pig's face. And also the ladies downstairs, and it is almost exclusively ladies, wear little domino masks with
Oh,
little pig snouts on.
Sure.
I don't like that.
For extra payment,
cannot-
they'll keep them on during the upstairs bit.
Oh my. I cannot say that I'm a fan of this. I mean, each to their own, but also just the fact they're going around in the little domino masks. Just.
Yep. He also owns the Velvet Rope, which is an expensive brothel catering to a higher class of clientele. I.e. they serve wine, and they cater to a wider area of clientele. They also, however, have a specialist line for extra pay in restraint,
Sure.
but that needs pre-booking. As to a dominatrix available on demand by appointment.
On the mind. Very fun.
Yep.
Putting the point in appointment.
Exactly. And also, he owns, and this is where he is most commonly seen, the Mighty Pen, which is a gambling den.
I was
Just
expecting more.
I think I probably should point out, as an aside here on the subject of the letter, is that while I have written the letter as read out, Hamus's version of it is in terrible handwriting, and probably lots of it is misspelled.
So it would need someone literate to translate it and
So I
rewrite
feel
it.
like somebody else would want to translate, but Hamus is going about his own thing at the moment and hasn't even considered the idea that somebody else might want to write a neat copy of it. If he thinks about it by the next day, he might see if he can get the lawyer to write it up.
Amos, given the previous question, how about a mage delivers your letter?
No, it's certainly
See, that would work quite nicely, wouldn't it? To kill two birds with one stone, so to speak.
But so your plan is still to pick a fight with Sebastian?
I don't want to pick a fight. This letter is not picking a fight. This letter is precisely not picking a fight. This is a letter saying, hello, I don't want to have a fight with you. I don't know what letter you were reading.
This letter is an invitation to a fight.
Yeah.
Only one little bit of it is an invitation.
Only the part that says come and fight me is like the rest of it is fine.
Exactly, only that part.
Only part of it says come fight me. That doesn't count.
Only the way you pin it to his door with a knife says come and
You're a
fight.
mate.
Actually planning on doing that, but
Pinning it to his bodyguard with a knife would be worse.
that's more the sort of thing Hamus might do.
Best case scenario, Sebastian doesn't know what the kid's done and slaps him and stops it.
Worst case, he doesn't know what Peter has done, and he comes after with this full force of people.
Well,
I
what's the
dare say
reason?
Sebastian would not
Why?
would not operate so openly. He has legitimate business concerns.
I mean, yeah, but
There is a point at which Sebastian points out, if he doesn't already know. These issues of him possibly coming after us at that point, they're going to happen anyway. Either he's already behind this, or if we manage to foil Peter, then Sebastian comes after us.
What you are proposing, though, is making that a sooner rather than later situation.
Absolutely. If it's going to happen, it may as well happen now. There's no point hanging around for it.
No?
Later means that we
Why
might
not?
be better prepared.
Have
Yeah,
there been
you
any
can
cases
compare.
in your life recently that have led you
So
to
basically, your principle here is that if you're going to get killed by somebody anyway, you'd rather get killed on Thursday than tomorrow. Is that
Yeah,
fair?
I'd rather be wearing armor. Yes.
Two more days is 2 more days. So.
yeah, 2 more days to run
Yeah.
out of town?
I have
People
been
live-
I am
I
trying.
was say you people lead a very different life to me, but actually, Auburn, you might be on the similar sort of track.
Okay. Right, I'm going to wrap this scene, as 'twere,
Yep,
and
that's
suggest
fair
that you'd agreed nothing's happening tonight.
Nothing's happening tonight.
We've
No.
agreed to disagree.
So
We are doing
Dondrick,
a
Nell, and
conversation for
Loic
tomorrow. We had a
can.
meeting, then we're gonna have another meeting.
So Dondrick, Nell, and Loic are presumably now really worried about their potential future lives, and heading back to their shop because, if nothing else, safety in numbers.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
want to properly bar the door with not just with wood, like using some of the blinds we have as well. I want to craft it that the door is barred. I am
Right.
trusting in.
I
I
s-
am
By
I
keeping
spent a little moment, a few moments, basically not so much repairing the broken stairs, but putting new treads over the top until they can be properly repaired.
Okay.
I don't think we should all sleep at the same time. I think someone should stay alert.
I love that the merchants are all basically on the shit. We're going to die, and the criminals like, let's have a fight with the whole criminal organisation. It'll be fine.
They come from different backgrounds. They have different attitudes towards doing things.
Okay.
A full frontal assault is not the Piotr or Sebastian style. We might as well get some rest. It has been a long day. Unless they intend to...
Piotr threw a bloody bomb through my window. How full frontal
You weren't there, we're in the shop!
We're at home!
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that in character because I'm not there.
Okay. So, those at the shop experience a quiet night.
Properly barring the door and probably windows.
Must be safe. Must be safe. Nail it shut.
Must be safe.
I actually before going to bed, I say to Nell and Dondrik, it's like, yes, these extra security measures may have to be made a little bit permanent tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I've already had some thoughts. We're working tomorrow.
Okay.
And it's a success.
Do I take it that Auburn is being put up at the coin? Because Auburn
When you
has
say
nowhere to
put
go.
up, do we mean sort of Tree of Woe style, or
Housed voluntarily.
Entirely voluntary.
Auburn will be provided a room, yes.
Will he
that's locked from the
provide
outside?
the key to the room?
If the rooms have locks, then yes.
The rooms have locks, yes. Okay. So, last thing at night, Bernie, the blonde, not blonde, I'm reading the word blonde.
That's the elfin
The
blonde,
elven
isn't it?
barkeep?
Yeah.
The elven or half elven?
She is, well, no one's actually asked,
Right.
but she has pointy ears.
Yeah. Elven heritage.
Yes,
A
she is
very
definitely...
small halfling.
She is definitely either full blood or parent is an elf. She's definitely either first generation or full blood. It's hard to say. It's one of those things. It's kind of tricky to ask. It's, hi, how likely are you to join the Scoia'tael and get strung up somewhere?
Just out of interest, actually, having been reminded of her, before he retires for the night, or before she retires for the night, whichever one happens first, Hamus will ask her in Elven, how do you feel about working for the Boars?
She looks at you and says, I didn't want to do it under Willhelm. I don't want to do it now.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. I'm just checking what my options are. And more importantly, how my options affect other people, because obviously one of my options is to give them exactly what they want to get the hell out of town. And
Would rather you didn't.
yeah, I don't want to leave you in the lurch,
That's
so
appreciated.
I just wanted to get your input on this.
Well, as I say, I'd rather not. Because I've heard stories. And if they did have anything to do with Wilhelm's death, then I'd quite like whoever was responsible for that to die in boiling oil if I can arrange
Yeah.
it.
If we find out that they did have something to do with Wilhelm's death, this might be something that we need to discuss a little bit on the quiet side, because those crafty types, they're not really up for that kind of stuff. But I reckon that if it came to it, something could be arranged.
I don't like it when people hurt my friends.
No, not keen on that myself.
And employer, of course. So I will. Your beds are all made up. I have checked on the animals and gave them their evening feed. Somebody's going to have to go in there and stroke them, though, because, well,
Stroke them.
well, yes. You have to keep them socialised.
Yeah.
They don't like
They're
me
fighting
much.
animals, are they not?
Yes. They fight each other. What are they going to do? Lick you to death?
I don't know. What do I know about them? They're not exactly very common on Skellige.
Would you like me to ask Abelard to go in and give them their morning petting?
Yeah, I think this kind of stuff comes under Abelard's responsibilities. We've already put him in charge of the basic day-to-day running of the inn. So
Right.
I think that's covered, isn't it?
Yes. you see, Willhelm, morning and evening, he would go in and he would sit with them, and allow them to crawl over him. And
Every day.
Every day, yes.
Morning and evening
Yes.
in the cellar.
No, out back in the pens.
Oh, that's back. Oh, that's okay then.
You wouldn't want to do it in the cellar. In the cellar, their blood's up, and then you might get hurt.
So where was he found again?
He was found in the cellar.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Was he killed by a rogue Aardvark who got the...
You were all along.
Repeatedly hugged him down the stairs.
That's it.
Once again,
If I'd like
Could you-
anything like
could you do
that, then
this?
I can well believe him going down the stairs to his doom.
like once again, there's a single clip of two Aardvarks fighting, and it's literally looks like two drunk teddy bears trying to fight it out. it's the worst.
Do you know how hard it is to keep a straight face while recounting somebody sitting doing his best Aspinall impression?
You are
I'm
so
gonna be
impressive.
See, now you've spoken about
I
drunk
will
teddy
allow
bears.
you now. I will
I'm
allow
thinking
you
about-
now to close today.
Right. Would Hadavir like to... I believe you can use spellcraft in as a substitute for awareness when it comes to magic.
Yes.
Would Hadavir like to roll me a spellcraft, and would Hamus like to roll me an awareness? And let
no,
me
that-
know.
Whether I can or not is a different matter, but
Can I just double check that this is not practice paranoia I should be rolling?
No, this is not practice paranoia because it's not
Good,
actually
I feel more
dangerous to you.
comfortable.
I think you mean
so
the
that's a
magical
19.
training, don't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And in fact, Auburn, would you like to roll me an awareness check?
And not a practice paranoia, presumably.
No.
Aardvark fighting.
Fox, just...
The Aardvarks are on the
Oh,
rise.
Holy
poor
shit.
bad.
Drunt? The dice keep exploding.
Yes.
39.
Tens explode. Bloody hell.
Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
We love. This is why we love exploding dice systems. More games than that.
I've had my negative explosion. Now I'm going the other way.
Now you're going the other way.
In my friend groups, we tend to call exploding dice system rotten bun, because working under the pretense you can basically kill anything with a rotten bun. If you want.
Theoretically.
I'm just a little disappointed now. I know that I have argued against affiliation for Hidblade
Yeah.
on occasion, but I just wish we had emotes, because if we had the exploding die emote, now would be the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to rediscuss affiliation, because I'm not sure how it would work, because it's not an individual. It's
Yeah.
a collective, and I don't
This is
know
part
without
of why I have
incorporating.
argued against it, that it just gets really awkward.
But I'm not sure how we could do it because we're not a company. No legal standing. I don't know how that works. I'd have to actually dig into it. Okay.
Awkwardly.
Yeah, I can imagine. I might have to bend your ear, because you guys presumably have, but you at least were company.
Yes.
So, yeah, it may have to be somebody putting their name on it and being really trusted. So, Hamus, you come awake in the wee small hours. The moon is shining through the gap in the shutters and illuminating your room, your unfamiliar room. It's been a warm day and your room had a fire lit, but a chill has woken you up. A chill you've not known since you were on the farm. There's a taste of snow in your air.
Uh-oh.
Hadavir,
Yes.
you wake up. It's maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. Clocks are a thing in this setting. But that's based on your awareness of the world around you, more than looking at any kind of timepiece. Your breath is clouding in front of you. You can see it in the moonbeam. And all your senses are on alert. Your skin is tingling. There is something strongly magical going on in this building.
Do I have any indication as to what, or a feeling as to where it may be coming from?
You feel it's above you.
Okay, quickest way to get up on the roof.
You've got 1 floor of residential, and then you've got the roof. You don't know if there's roof access from the owner's apartment, which is where Abelard's sleeping.
Okay. But there's no direct roof access anywhere else.
Not that you know of, no.
Then that's the way I'm going.
Okay. You step out of your room
Yep.
and catch a glimpse
Go.
of possibly white cloth flicking around the corner of the staircase.
Giving chase.
Okay. You rolled incredibly well, didn't you?
39.
Yeah.
I mean, on a scale of 1 to a lot,
Yeah.
I would think that'll be a lot.
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 2 explosions.
Yeah. We've got 2 levels of residential floor and then the attic space, which is where the owner's apartments are, if I remember the maps are right.
Where did I put the notes?
She says, suddenly panicking.
Dropbox.
Yeah.
Where on Dropbox? I wouldn't like to say. You don't have a picture folder, do you?
No. I will locate it.
And I didn't want to criticise for obvious reasons, but on the subject of a fire being lit in Auburn's room, I don't think there would have been, because none of the rooms have fireplaces.
In Hamos's room.
None of the rooms have the fireplaces still.
Sorry, yeah, my apologies. In that case, yes, okay. I retract the fire. However, I will accept bedpan. Not a bed, bed warmer. You will have had that applied.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So yes, the hot coals in the bed. Auburn is blissfully sleeping and totally unaware of anything that's going on.
Yeah.
Really?
Why I said Auburn
He's
there.
let-
I knew Auburn was still
Yeah.
asleep.
He's absolutely not criminal in the slightest senses slip. He
Yeah.
really has.
Would he have it any other way?
And as you round the stairs, you see the figure of a woman. But she has nothing to do with the staircase.
Dun dun dun.
Say that again.
She's moving up
See,
the
okay.
stairs, but she's not walking up the stairs.
Okay. Still following.
Okay. She heads up one flight. And passes through the wall at the next level.
Does it look like there used to be a door there?
No. And she literally passes through the wall next to where the door from the stairs leads out onto the main floor.
So there is a door there. She just
There is a
decided to
door
not
there.
take
She
it.
just decided not to bother.
Going through the door.
Okay.
Being taunted.
She pauses with garments blowing in the wind you can't feel.
Care to say so
Outside,
much?
the figure turns,
I'll do.
looks at you.
I'm terrified as to what's going to happen next. I'm really regretting getting her attention.
And crosses her hands at her neck and vanishes into the moon.
Almost like someone's got a haunted necklace.
As if.
Okay. Do I have any inkling as to whether that was a ghost or someone doing some kind of weird magical astral projection thing?
It doesn't match any magical projection that you know of. And generally, astral projections require a distance, require some kind of magical focus.
Like a necklace?
More along the lines of actual equipment. Something like a megascope could do it. But no, you feel that you're dealing more likely with some kind of shade.
Did I get at least a reasonable look at her face, given that she looked at me before she winked out?
Make me an awareness check, please. And yeah, you can use your magical training.
How come you said that?
Hamus, you can hear footsteps outside your door. And then the room is considerably warmer. Almost too warm after the cold.
Suppose I better get up and investigate.
20.
Okay. You saw a beautiful woman. Dark hair, high cheekbones, but a drawn face. Sort of 3 days without sleep drawn. In what could be a nightgown. It was heavy on the lace anyway.
Would I know her again if I saw her?
She was fairly distinctive.
Well, I don't suppose I saw any indication of pointy ears, did I?
No. The hair of the...
Just covering the ears?
Yeah, the hair, unfortunately, was looped back. And yeah, we're talking loose ponytail. So yeah, covers the ears.
Has the chill feeling gone?
Yeah, the moment she vanished, the chill feeling went. And Hamus, what you doing?
Presumably, I'm poking my head out of the door and seeing. Actually, not poking my head out of the door because I'm on the wrong floor. Yeah, I'm poking my head out the door. What do I see?
I believe you're on the floor that Hadavir has now gone up to. Because I think I've got 2 residential floors, haven't I?
Only if Hadavir has broken open a door. Because the private level, I don't know that he necessarily would have locked it behind him. Actually, so I suppose yeah, he could have gone to it. Hamus wouldn't necessarily have thought to lock it.
Hamus isn't big on locked doors, mainly because he keeps forgetting that.
They ain't unlocked doors. They just don't apply to him.
Okay, in that case, all you see
I don't have a map for the top floor, so I don't know quite what the layout is up there. I didn't get round to mapping it. Or if I did, I haven't exported it.
In that case, all you see is Hadavir at the top of the stairs. And a shaft of moonlight.
If you're looking for a glass of warm milk, you're in the wrong place.
Okay, and I will leave it there.
What a line for a closer.
Amazing.
And we will restart next session with your morning meeting. You decide your course of action.
If
Oh,
we live that long.
God, what a situation we are in.
Yes, it's possible there may be a shade attached.
Oh, Ariana, we're really in it now.
I'm in danger.
It's The Witcher. It wouldn't be The Witcher without some sort of supernatural beastie to throw into the mix.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Wink, Scooby.
Young Scoop. Okay.
Orban is in fact the Shaggy in this scenario.
Actually, yeah. Now I've got an image of Auburn with like a stack of hot dogs. Actually, I
Do you
can
recall that
see-
Orban has similarly rubbish, scraggy facial hair?
Yeah.
Like, he is just Shaggy but short and red-headed. Now that I think about it. This was not intentional.
So,
Tomorrow with the farmer. Tomorrow's the end of the day. Okay, I said it. I'm done.
Yes.
Fine.
right. Okay, so we are back on this in 3 weeks, if that's acceptable for people.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. I think we'll do tomorrow.
And I apologise.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I apologise for the larger gap. I don't apologise for sticking some horror in at the end, because I just felt the need. So,
I can honestly say I have no idea where we're going with this.
you've no idea where we're going with this?
Yeah. No, I don't mean, oh, this is a baffling scenario. I've got no idea what's going on. I mean, I've got no idea where we're actually going with this. Apart from into the harbour with concrete shoes.
That is
we're
an
going
option.
to the harbour, but
I mean,
they're
it
the
wouldn't
ones
be
going in it
concrete.
with the concrete shoes.
It would be like a cannonball or something other heavily weighted, like a
Yeah.
little leg probably.
We're just going to steamroller them.
Yeah,
fine.
put that there.
Well, we shall see what happens in the
Orban
morning.
is regretting every single choice he has made in the past 50 years of his life. He is regretting
I think at the
leaving
moment,
home,
so is
he
he,
is
but he's
regretting
only
coming
about
back,
18.
he is regretting everything that led him to come back.
Okay. But,
This is where you settle down, you get a nice shop somewhere, you kind of try to live your life. No, it doesn't work either.
Yeah.
it's fine.
Loic's
Auburn,
starting to feel that.
Auburn at least now knows the name of the person who thrust the bombs at him. That's a
It's
plus. That's a
Person
positive.
that
That's a win.
you know, absolutely was not designed to potentially be a romance interest.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. And you still don't know who the person who held a knife to you was.
Another person potentially. We still don't know.
Yeah.
Again, for those of you who weren't there last week, somewhere in this campaign is a mystery romance interest. That there is a reason why. Which you get like Witchers in Witcher rather. Sorry, he's not a Witcher. God.
No.
No.
In which you roll a life path which
Yeah.
determines random events, and Orban's all involve him basically not being able to go back to a country.
Beg pardon.
Yep.
It's kind of incredible.
Yep.
Apart from the most recent one, which Dot had me roll for in his most recent decade of life, which is problematic romance with a rival. And I was like,
means-
I kind of want to roleplay that.
right now you're doing like instead of like innocent until confirmed, otherwise you're doing love interest until kills me. Or
Yeah.
the-
Until confirmed nemesis.
I think it's a bold.
Even then,
Yeah.
I think
exactly.
you're making a bold assumption that I haven't mapped it out to be Piotr.
Oh,
Piotr's not actually.
I think you're making a bold assumption that she hasn't mapped it out to be Hamus just to give us both trouble.
Would
My
I?
mind reels at the possibilities.
I need some pearls so I can clutch them. Would I do that? Right, having seeded some serious panic and paranoia. Okay, so yes, 3 weeks' time we'll be back to this. Next week, Swords of Slaughterdeep.
Next week, AD&D 2nd edition. Swords of Slaughterdeep. Yeah.
Yay!
Right.
That's when we get back to a certain much maligned sailor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Switch from merchant to scribe. Right.
Yep. Yep. The scribe's slightly less scary, to be fair.